Hello everyone, welcome. We are Easy Allies. It's E3, there's hype going around, and there's many games to discuss, and we're going to talk about some games right now. Some games we all played. We're going to start with Ian Hink.
Hey!
Ian Hink, what did you play?
For the first day of this E3, I got to play some games. The first one I'll talk about last because you guys also played it.
Yeah.
I played Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania. But I think you guys already talked about that because other people got to play it. Mm-hmm. They're fine. Custom character controls a little weird. Whatever.
Did you get to make a custom character?
No.
Oh, okay.
He said that takes a long time, and
sure.
They pre-made one.
You know what we should do when that game comes out?
Dude, wait. What?
Dude,
I have an idea too, but I don't know if it's the same as your idea.
Okay.
I get a vault.
Hey, Damiani, you're not a part of this. Damiani, plug your ears for a minute, will you?
Put it in a vault.
Huh?
Conceal it away.
Don't tell Damiani about this idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Whatever.
Go ahead, Ian.
We should do a stream though where we just make characters over and over again. It'd be great. But yeah, those games are fine. I played Talos Principle in VR, which I'm really excited about.
What VR platform?
Vive.
Cool.
And it was cool because I met the team behind it, and I was a huge fan of the Talos Principle, and he actually said that they all really liked my review of it. The only review I think I ever wrote for game trailers was for Talos Principle.
Greatest one.
Best review.
Best review, yeah.
Best review.
I really like the Stanley Parable review. Because
That
Ryan
is
let me get really weird with that one.
Cool.
Find that if it's still out there. The Stanley Parable review for game trailers was really weird. But anyway, it was a cool game, and the way they did movement is you can tap a direction on the little touchpad, and it'll move you a step in that direction, which was helpful. But if you click on the center, you get to teleport wherever you want, and then it'll dash you up there. And I found myself doing a mixture of both. And it was the first few demo levels, which are pretty easy puzzles, and I remembered them, so I kind of just like through it. But the funniest thing that happened was while I was playing it, so I was in the system, and then I was downloaded into the system.
You're in the system.
I was in the system, and a woman comes in. I just hear her. She's quite loud and very excited to be seeing all these people again, meeting a few of them for the first time. The team who made Talos Principle, and through the conversation that I'm overhearing as I'm playing this demo, I realize, or they say like, "Oh yeah, she was the voice actor for Dr. Brennan, who is the woman whose voice you hear throughout the entirety of the Talos Principle," which is hilarious because then a little later I found an audio file of Dr. Brennan, and she's very calm and very like understated. Mm-hmm. And then they had her in the game, and she was like, "There's a rainbow! This is amazing!" She was like so not like her character. It was awesome.
She was also wearing a headset?
They put her in the other system, and she was playing the game in VR for the first time.
Yours on.
She came in while I had it on.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
All right.
And so it was very funny because I didn't know what she looked like. I didn't know what was happening, and I was hearing her in real life and in the game, and it was like polar opposites. It was just really funny. And then I came out and like, just seeing that voice actor, it's always very interesting because like you're always wrong with what you think people look like from their voice acting. But I just thought that was funny that she came in and was very excited about the game. But yeah, it was really cool. I liked it a lot, and they're working on it, and it's gonna be cool. If you like the Talos Principle, play
how does it
VR.
benefit from VR?
It was really cool to be able to look around and all that kind of stuff. And I'm bad at VR, so I was like, I asked him, I'm like, can you change the amount of distance that you step when you use the D-pad or the touchpad? Uh-huh. And they're like, yeah, we can make that customizable. It's not that hard. And then the other guy goes, you can also walk around.
And did you?
I never did.
Oh, okay.
The entire time I stood in one place, I turned, but I never like moved my feet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh right.
Yeah.
So that's just me being an idiot. But it's really fun because you have the two Vive controllers, and you're teleporting around with the left hand, and then with the right hand you're just grabbing the like laser connectors and the things, and you just grab them, line them up, put them down. They put like a laser pointer thing on on every item that you pick up, so that it's
lining them up is easier.
Really easy to line up what you're doing,
Yeah.
which is essential. But it was actually really intuitive and really easy because being in the 3D space, you can line everything up, and it was really cool. And having the music and the sound of the world, you really felt immersed. It's VR. Cool. It was really cool. So I like that a lot. I love that game. Yeah. And then the other one we played was Bloodstained.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I
liked it a lot.
I thought it was like it didn't blow my mind.
Yep.
But it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks. I was skeptical about this game from the trailer that came out a little while ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's ugly. I really don't like the way it looks. And ooh, it looks like she's kind of walking. I think Damiani said that somebody was saying that it looks like she's walking into a high wind, But playing it, the game looks real good. Mm-hmm. It sounds real good. And it plays pretty well.
I would say this game delivers exceptionally well on what it promised to deliver, actually.
As a Castlevania.
Yeah, a Castlevania game, and I think it does that very well.
It is Castlevania Symphony.
Yeah, it is. We probably saw a really early part in the game.
Right.
But there had a few nice things I added because everyone thinks Symphony Night with this game. For Huber, I immediately checked the backdash to see if you could spam it. Mm-hmm. Can't spam it
You cannot
anymore.
spam the backdash.
Nice.
I checked that too.
I like that.
Added some new powers. We got a fireball.
Yep.
There's you had 2 slots for certain powers. There was the fireball we got, which was I think the right trigger. Then there was an eventual spear throw we got, which was Y, I believe. Slight change to that.
Well, it's cool that you get different shards.
Yeah.
And it's pretty intense. Some of them you get from an in-game item or a chest, but a lot of the time you'll get a new power from killing an enemy. And that's really cool because we all ended up with different powers. Like you had a spear power that I didn't see. We all got a little familiar that you got from killing a thing. But in the menu, there's a bunch of slots. Oh, you didn't get that from me?
I missed it.
Oh, wow.
I love.
There are a bunch of different slots for the different magic shards.
I love the animation of getting a new shard.
Yeah.
Dude, you get a big giant crystal comes out and just stabs the
Impales
character.
you.
She's like,
She gets stabbed in the lower abdomen.
Like if you kill a boss or something, you get that, right?
no.
No.
Well, we were
that's
just killing enemies.
No,
Oh, okay.
any shard that you're picking up.
Yeah,
that's
all
new.
the shards.
Yeah.
Any new shard. It was interesting, because a couple of times I killed an enemy and then I got bone toss or bone throw or whatever it's called. And it says in the bottom corner, it says the name of the item you just got, and the shard does come and hit you, but it doesn't do the animation again. So I don't know if in the real game that'll beef it or something, because it does show that you got that power again a second time.
A decent amount of weapon variety, I would say, in there. There's a spear, dagger. There's kung fu stuff where you kick.
Yep.
There's a big claymore I saw. There was a rapier. There's a katana.
Yep.
And they all seem to have a little different movesets, which is nice.
I really loved a couple of the secrets. I thought they were super good because of how hard they were to get to. One especially, they're not Medusa heads, but they function exactly
pretty much
like Medusa heads,
yeah.
where they're moving in that S pattern.
They're literally, yeah.
And they are randomly going at different heights, and you need to get one that is flying at the highest point, and you need to get underneath this bell, and there's a move that you can do where you do a down kick because you can double jump, but if you double jump and then down kick on top of an enemy, it will refresh one of your jumps. So it's kind of a way for you to get a triple jump.
Yeah.
And you have to time it perfectly where it's right underneath the bell, you double jump, you down kick on it, you bounce up, and then in that demo you can get a chest with a powerful weapon, which I thought was really, really cool.
What weapon was in there? Was it the claymore?
I didn't get it. I didn't get there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, too hard
It
for
looked
Ben
hard.
even.
Yeah, I got close several times. I spent 5 minutes on it. He's like, "Hey, dude, I spent 15 minutes trying to do this. You're gonna want to get to the
Because you're at
boss."
E3, it's
Right.
I hate that part of it.
And you have a bunch of people watching. And you're like, okay, if this was me, I'd just keep doing it until I got it.
Quickly, I'd like to bring up for fans of Castlevania, there is whips. So it feels just like home, baby, playing that game.
There's whips. And I think an alternate character because of the tier they reached.
think so, yeah.
Really?
I haven't looked at the
crowdfunding
Kickstarter thing in a while.
Yeah.
They started the presentation with a little PowerPoint that had facts about stuff, and the fact about the new boss that we fought that you saw in the demo is it just said there was one bullet point on the PowerPoint was just dress made of blood.
Yeah, shit controls blood.
I just thought it was really funny that they made a point of saying that.
Trust me to blood. Well, there's a really cool trailer for her.
No, yeah.
She's got the umbrella, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
That looks like actually a really cool boss fight.
It was. It was cool.
It was
fun, yeah.
Her introduction gave her so much character because she's just sitting in this bathtub of blood, and she just slowly gets up, and the blood swirls around her, forming her dress, and it's cool.
So I have a question for the three of you that can't be answered by a trailer. It's about vibes.
Yeah.
And to me, in a Castlevania game, there's actually there is a true sense of dread as you get deeper and deeper into this castle. There's a feeling to it.
Yes.
And I'm curious if you got a feeling from what you played of Bloodstained.
Yes, and here's why.
Okay.
Aggressive organs.
Kyle, the first,
musically.
the first
Yes.
note I wrote down was great music.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it basically just sounds like you found the second disc of Castlevania Symphony of the Night music.
Yes, exactly.
It's like
It's a great way of describing
straight up. Just like, oh, was this Marble Gallery? No, this was the upside down
Wandering
caves.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like I don't know if it's the same composer, but like it sounds like it.
The music does a great job of saying this would only play if I was going to hunt down awful creatures.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know you're fighting vampires and stuff.
As for
Listen.
the environments, Kyle, the vibe is definitely
And you feel it
there.
in the environments
Yeah,
too? That's
I mean,
a
I
really
didn't
important
feel
part
that
too.
sense of
That's-
dread because
Yeah.
the demo's not very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they was toned down for E3, but I'm
Yeah.
sure as it,
And they
it
were
seemed
generous
early.
with potions and
They were-
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
The environments, that's actually one of my biggest complaints, is the environments. I feel like the castle itself, you have a lot of areas where it's just a bunch of gray and there's not much going on. But my biggest criticism was the areas where you get out and you could see like the sky in the background. It was just kind
The
of
narrow
like
walkways.
very
It was.
bland.
It
There
was like
wasn't
it was almost to me like a transition thing. That's
Yeah.
what it just was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about those Castlevania backgrounds and wherever you're going, even if it's just a
layers,
transition
yeah.
screen, there's so much detail going on. And so I was
Well,
a
except
little
for the
bit
CD.
disappointed.
Oh, I mean, yeah. When you're
Yeah.
transitioning in Symphony of the Night, it's like that little tiny hallway that
Yeah.
you go through a million times in that game.
Yeah, I know, I understand, but
These felt more like when you're in Clock Tower in Symphony of the Night, when you're in that tunnel and there's always
Yes,
little blood
yes,
dogs.
that's-
It
yes.
felt like almost exactly like that, but the background, yeah, it was just kind of a blue sky. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that's just not done yet.
Right.
Like we have no idea.
right, and that's what I was going to follow that up
Yeah.
with, because there were other things too. There was one point where I cast a spell and then went in my inventory and equipped another spell and then tried to cast it and it did the other one that I had previously equipped, but then I pressed the button again and it did the new spell. And the hit detection was a little bit weird on some of the weapons. Like when I had the whip equipped, it attacked slightly at an angle. And even when I was right on top of like the breakable lanterns, it wouldn't hit it.
Oh, really?
But then
Hmm.
immediately equipped another weapon, it was fine. So there are just little
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
here and there
Kinks to
that
work
need
out,
to be
yeah.
ironed out.
There
Is that
were-
game coming out this year, by the way?
No.
No,
Oh,
2018.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
they've got a lot of time, and that needs to be said.
One thing that I don't, one thing that may or may not be finalized. You and I were talking about this, Ben, about death animations and like hit animations in the enemies. We both thought the hit animations were good.
Yes.
Really good, responsive hit animations. You really felt the impacts. It felt speedy. It felt good.
Because when you're hitting these monsters, you're hitting them multiple times,
Yeah.
and they had really great recoil to your weapon.
And
strikes.
they put a little slash animation
Yep.
from your weapon, like across where you hit the enemy, which
that's
is
cool.
and at the angle that you hit them.
Yeah.
If memory serves correctly. One criticism I had, especially with this, there's a large spear wielding enemy that may or may not be in the trailer. His death animation is confusing because it looks like another attack, so you think he's not dead.
I don't agree with that at all.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble figuring that out. He like falls apart and gets set on fire.
No, that's after that. All of them fall apart and get set on fire.
Great.
So
but
wait, what are you confused
he-
about then?
He, before he dies, he would go like this with his spear, like he's about to attack again, and then go, oh, but you can't hit him in that time. And then he bursts into flames. And I'm like, you're like,
Well, you
obviously
learn
he's
that
dead.
like the first time that
yeah.
you kill him, though.
Yeah. I'm not saying I didn't learn the lesson, Brad. I'm just saying the first time I was
don't
like,
see it's a big deal.
is he... I don't know. In Symphony of the Night, when a guy gets broken in half and blood sprays everywhere, you're like, got him. In this one, I was like, okay, he's dead. And I just thought that was, it bumped me a little bit. I'm sorry,
Oh.
Brad.
No, I love the
No,
disagreement.
I just don't see it, but that's cool. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I like the look of it more than I did in the trailer. The speed thing, I said to you at lunch, I think, that I wish it was like 5 or 10% faster, just on the whole.
Yeah, I think that's especially true with the walking speed. I wish the walking speed was about 10% faster.
Yeah.
for sure.
It just felt like just a little too slow.
yeah,
and
it
a
was,
few.
it was by no means like unplayable or
No,
anything
no,
like
and
that,
it's
but-
all balanced with that walking speed, you know. So like the sword slashes feel tuned to that speed of motion, so it's fine. But it was interesting that you start with a short sword, and then the second weapon I equipped was the katana, which I expected to be faster, but it was slower. It hit harder, but it was a little slower, and I was like, oh, and then I got used to it. But
When we say the katana and like the short sword, is there multiple versions of the same weapon that have different stats,
Yes,
or is there the
is.
short sword?
Yeah, there is.
do we
Okay.
know
I got
that
like
for
I
sure?
got like two like a spear or something, two different types.
Oh,
And they
really?
had different attack
Yeah.
values. Okay.
Yeah.
Were they both called spear?
I spear something in it.
Sure.
But the same animation.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think overall, though, promising
Very
Yeah.
promising.
would be the word that I would
Especially when
use
they
to
have
describe
it's
it.
not even coming out this year.
Right.
They got a lot of time
Yeah.
Cool.
to tweak it out.
Yeah, I backed it, so I'm gonna get the game. And I went from today. I went from being worried to excited to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Egan knows what he's doing.
yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
What's our next game?
I don't know. I'm done.
Oh, should we talk about what
Oh,
we played?
Ian's done for the night.
I'm done for the
Oh,
night,
cool.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for E3. I'm going on vacation, so bye.
Are we still gonna see an easy update next week?
Yes, on the 24th, Don and I make tracks with each other.
Whoa.
Oh.
What a tease to end on.
But we need somebody to fill that seat.
Huber's in?
Who wants to hear us talk about anime?
I definitely do.
So here we go.
We've got some games.
We got some anime games.
Jones, did you want back on, by the way?
Let's do the order we played them in.
Sure.
Actually,
Okay. Blood, did you want back
I've
on?
had a lot of stage
I don't know where we're going next.
I need a beverage.
Okay. We're gonna talk about some games that
We're
would
talking
make
about
Bloodworth uncomfortable.
Three XC games. This
Yeah.
game will make
Oh,
people
okay.
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
The first
yeah,
one
this
is
one-
very. It's gonna make some people uncomfortable.
It would make Bloodworth
Wait, this is one of my
squirm.
favorite things to do.
I don't think that's like chat's favorite. I don't think that's fun for a live audience.
He does
They
not,
love
he,
it.
He does not care and will never care.
Chat,
Yeah.
let us know.
Chat, let us know.
Let us know, chat.
Let us know.
Text
I've seen-
TBDB.
I've seen
To squirmy
positive
dermy.
reactions in the past from the cold crack
Yeah.
of a soda.
If you like the cold crack, write the word. Oh,
Positive vibes.
Yes, because I like doing that too,
Great.
so that's reassuring.
No surprise.
Yes.
Brad, this first game, we
Whoa.
treated like a joke, and
Well,
actually ended up
yes.
having. I mean, not like a.
When I
It's a
saw
joke.
it, I was
Hey, hey.
like,
Yeah.
here we go.
it's a joke.
Yeah,
The
we
game's a
go.
joke.
Yes, that's it. It was like, okay, here we go. We know exactly
Yeah.
what to expect.
Yeah.
We walked away happy.
We were like, it was kind of decent.
That was kind. That was,
Kinda
that was
kinda
way
decent,
better than we
yeah.
expected. And that is Senran Kagura, Peach Beach Splash.
This game is for pervs, right?
Well, it is a game. I will tell you what is in the game, and you can make your own decision.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah. We're just reporting.
We're just reporting.
Yeah.
I'm just a reporter.
Not
reporting
judging.
On Peach Splash.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard title to say sometimes. So this is a game you can play either solo or multiplayer.
Wait, can I get the context? Is this based off of an anime? Was the anime first?
There's no anime.
There's no, this is a
I think there is. I
standalone.
think. I mean, I don't know my Senran Kagura
You're opening
that
the floodgates
well,
of
but
chat.
I think there
Well,
is
you
now a Senran Kagura.
brought me up
anime.
here ready to talk about anime. I want to know the origins of this property.
I don't have the origins of Senran Kagura for you.
I'm sure chat is posting more
Chat
right now.
We'll post the official timeline video. Everything will be fine.
Games
were
were
first.
first. Thank you,
Okay, here we go.
Damiani.
Yeah.
Boom. There is an
Oh, cool. All right.
But games first. Okay.
This is a game. So previous Senran Kagura games, for the most part, have basically been these sort of arena fighters where there's melee combat, that sort of thing. Here, you are playing as anime girls in swimsuits, and it is
You're shooting super soakers
you're
at each
shooting
other.
super soakers. I immediately thought of kind of a more risque, much more risque, infinitely more risque Splatoon.
Yes.
Was what I was thinking.
Lewd Splatoon.
And
Splatoon.
What?
the first thing, before we get into the other deeper mechanics that we should talk about, I want to talk about the movement,
Sure.
which I actually thought was a ton of fun. So it's kind of like an infinitely more risque Mario Sunshine. where you have this water meter essentially, and that water meter is tied to your ammunition and it's tied to your mobility. So you can shoot, you can jump, and then you can hold it to launch yourself up into the air, flood style, and you can hover there and you can blast people while you're in the air. You could also do a surprisingly fast, like continuous dash as long as you have water. And when you shoot, that also takes water. And what you have to do to reload, it's a really funny animation. So you're out of water, and then you crouch down and you pump the gun. I know. I'm reporting on the video game.
Reporting what we saw.
I'm reporting on the video game. Hand check. I'm
Yeah.
just
Kyle,
a reporter.
Kyle.
Yeah, I get it.
Dude, you have no idea how intense this is gonna get.
Yeah, we're not even at...
Yeah, this is nothing. This is
nothing.
not.
No,
this
that-
is child's play.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right,
we're not
continue.
there yet. We're not there yet.
Continue.
But it was really fun moving around. It felt...
The dash ability that
The
you
dash
have.
especially, yeah. Like, you also have a melee attack, and the melee attack, the primary function of it is not that you spam it, but that you hit them once with the melee, you knock them down on the ground, and then you just blast them with water.
And these aren't like normal, like just a hit with your hand melee here, but like I got like some intense like black gauntlets came out of nowhere,
What?
and I just punched some girl in the face.
Jeez.
I was like, whoa!
Wait, so I'm sorry. Was it like 2v2? What's going on?
No,
here?
it was like what 4v4 something like that.
And are you playing live opponents?
I don't.
We
It was
weren't,
either
but
4v4
I think you can.
or
Okay.
5v5.
Okay.
I
Somewhere
don't
around there.
remember. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's a multiplayer battle game.
Yeah,
It's a multiplayer
multiplayer
game,
shooter
yes.
arena game. Yeah.
That you can also play online.
Got it.
There is friendly fire, but the friendly fire doesn't damage you. It is encouraged because as your allies squirt you with water, another gauge, a percentage gauge, fills up, and when that gets to 100%, you get unlimited water, which means
Yeah.
you can dash infinitely. You can
Oh,
hover.
so we should just start each match spraying each other.
And that's
gotta find the
exactly what I
find
asked,
the
and that's
balance.
exactly what he said.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
like,
at the
yeah,
beginning
it's
of the match,
encouraged.
yeah, just blast each other with water.
And do I get knocked back if you're blasting me?
No,
Okay, so we should
Yes,
start each
you
match
should
just
do that,
blasting
yes.
each other.
Shoot
Okay.
everybody.
and so obviously you do that at the beginning of the match, and it lasts
Yeah.
for 30 seconds.
Okay.
You also, he was saying, want to kind of incorporate that in a fight as well. So if like somebody has a powerful ability that they want to use, you like make that even more powerful by giving them infinite water, and that therefore they have more versatility. And so it's kind of a strange mechanic.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the cards?
Oh, sure. They're at the beginning of the match. You could pick from several cards that are different girls, I guess, that are bound to these cards, and they each give you a new skill. So you can, I think, you select 3 different cards. Was it?
No, so you have
It's like
you have
Battlefront.
No, you have actually a ton of cards. I don't remember the exact number.
But
think
I only
it's
saw like 3 at a time on my
right.
thing.
And
Okay.
so the way that it works in previous Senran Kagura games,
Not familiar.
all of the different girls had different attributes and different abilities. That's not true here. All the girls are the same, and what differentiates them is the deck that they bring into battle.
Did you learn this, or have you played the other?
I've played 2 other Senran.
Ben's a
3 other
regular
Senran
at the
Kagura
XC
games.
booth.
I had to report on them. I was just doing my job.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Anyway,
Just doing your job.
just doing my job.
Yeah.
11:26.
Now, we need to get to.
Wait.
Oh, you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, I'm all flustered
Collect
now.
yourself, yeah.
So basically, you had what differentiates you now is the deck that you bring into battle, and you get. I think it's like more than 10 cards that you can slot in, and then when you go into a fight, you can activate that card, and you have like 4 that you can activate with you activate them with the D-pad, so up, down, left, right. When you use one, a new card is slotted into it, and it's randomized, like you're drawing a card. Kyle, ever since we learned that I've played other Senran Kagura games, you've looked at me differently. There's a smirk on your face.
I was
can
just
no longer continue this explanation.
I've just been distracted this whole time. Blood has been shaking his head and doing this entire conversation, just shaking his head and doing this, and I'm like, well, how are we supposed to continue this conversation when he's acting like that?
Ben, one of my favorite parts is the demo is when you ask the guy, are all the Senran Kagura girls in this? Like, you were super familiar, and I was like, dude, yeah.
So Ben,
It's just-
here's the truth though. You know I hate cards, and this
Yes.
idea that I have a bunch of cards and only can play 3 at a time. I'm like that. this is the moment I'm checked out.
Yeah. It's not a game for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
You're not in.
Why? Okay,
You're out.
wait. I think that bears some explanation. Why does?
I like picking my loadouts, but I don't like randomizing my loadouts.
So I mean, you do still have a loadout, but what you have access to at any given time changes.
That's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean in
everything
a card game,
card?
right? Like
Yeah.
let's say you're playing the Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah.
You enjoy that. What you're doing is you don't know what cards you're going to get when, and so you optimize your deck to get the
Right.
best chance of having good cards.
It's always that adding on top of it. Like if in Pokemon the RPG, I'm having a battle,
see.
and then
And then you have cards.
and then
So
I have
it's-
a little card on top of that. Absolutely no.
because it's an extra layer.
Yeah.
Sure. I get that.
Those girls in their bikinis with squirt guns should be able to pick their perks and not have that randomized for no weird reason.
I agree.
I mean, I
agree.
agree too, yeah.
I agree.
That was the least of my concerns on playing that game.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird thing to get hung up on. We should keep going on.
We
Yeah,
haven't even gotten to the. We haven't even gotten to
Oh,
the
man.
NC-17 stuff.
Yeah, this super lewd.
We didn't vet this. Maybe
didn't vet
should,
We didn't
this.
vet this. Maybe we should have vetted this more.
Yeah, maybe we should just.
Peggy 18.
All right. You know what?
Huh.
I think we have successfully described the mechanics of Senran Kagura
Yeah.
King's Peach Split. I think it is time to move on.
All right.
Would you say to wrap it up though?
Yes,
I mean,
we should have a wrap up.
we had like a weird, uncomfortable conversation about it. Well, we don't have to. I mean, it's
Right.
just the game is what it is,
The game is what it is.
and it sounds like it's fun despite that. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. It has no pretenses about what it is. And it, honestly and truly, it controls like pretty well. If you were to put a different skin on it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter. It would be a fun game that has more depth than I was expecting, where the shooting is fun, where it's fun moving around. It was all right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Were the other ones alright too?
The other ones-
mechanically.
Oh,
Oh, the ones where you have blades and are fighting.
I had more fun with this than the other
Wow,
Senran
really?
games that I played.
You get a gun in this one.
I mean, I'm not saying that
Maybe that-
this is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm saying the bar was not super high.
I now have context.
You know context. You're right. Yes. That this is the most fun I've had with
okay,
one of them.
excellent.
Yeah.
We should state to people who are like counting the clock and getting concerned that
Yeah.
we're gonna shoot bonus impressions after tonight.
Yes.
Tonight is actually not the last. We'll be talking about E3
Yeah.
because there's just too much to talk about.
Too many games.
The next one that I want to talk about was my favorite of the trio that we played. It was really, 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 really good, and I had not heard of this game before E3, and that's Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Brad, did you know anything about this game?
No, I never heard of it.
Okay, so basically, this is a Vanillaware game,
Yes.
not made by Vanillaware.
Oh.
Yeah.
But well, it doesn't look quite as good as a Vanillaware
No.
game. It's a 3D game as opposed to a 2D game, but it takes it's 3D models in a 2D perspective. If you have played Muramasa, it feels very similar to that.
Yeah.
And it is super, super fun because of one mechanic, and that is the scarf.
Yep.
So you have this really long, yellow, glowing scarf. And what you can do with this is you can shoot the scarf up, and you can attach to the environment to swing around, and that's really fun. It felt kind of like Bionic Commando, if you're familiar with the movement in that. Another thing that you can do is you can also hit an enemy and then zip behind them. And so for the boss was this giant frog who could only attack from the front, but he attacked pretty aggressively
Yeah,
from the
he would
front.
get very close to you.
And so what you could do is he would try to attack you. You'd zip behind him with the scarf combo and then just keep going back and forth.
You could also use the scarf to grab smaller enemies and just like
Yes.
throw them into rocks and
this
stuff
is,
like that.
It's so satisfying.
Cool. Yeah.
Because when you grab onto an enemy, if you push down, you will whip them in a circle, and there are a ton of things in the environment for you to bounce them into. So you'd hit them on the ground and then throw them into the spike, and then they would bounce off the spike, and if you were good, you could do an air combo
Yeah.
after that. And it was so much fun. And then you have skills as well that
Yeah.
are limited by a meter, but those skills would also do a bounce into the environment. So you could like do the skill, bounce them into the rock, they would come back, you'd grab them with the scarf, throw them, continue it. It was just perfect. Not perfect.
There's
it
a
was lot of
whole
fun.
nother game within this game we didn't even get to play yet.
Right.
So there's also a farm. The girl's a farmer. She's a farmer, Mike. She uses farming tools to fight with. So apparently you can go to her farm and plant crops and harvest and all that stuff.
Yes.
We don't know how deep it is or
gotta
anything like
defend your
that.
farm.
No, it was kind of
Yes.
frustrating because it was just a splash screen at the end, and they're like, "Here's all this cool stuff you're
Yeah.
gonna be able to do.
Yeah.
Goodbye."
Yeah, it was
and
like, cool, I didn't get to
we
use it.
asked what that was, and they're like, "Sorry, we don't really have information at this time."
Yeah,
So that was.
man.
I mean, that's okay, but
You'll hear about that soon.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
hear about that soon.
So, Of Rice and Ruin, to me, sounds like a kind of jokey title.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the vibe of this game?
No, I don't think it's a jokey game, but it is. It is kind of a chibi game, and it's kind of a cute game. But it's not jokey. I think this
Okay.
character, whatever quest they're on, is sincerely going after it.
You gotta
Cool.
find those rare farm seeds or something.
Yeah, gotta find better farming
Like,
tools.
farm is
We
probably ruining.
Yeah, we need a good
You gotta
harvest.
go find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want other allies to get their hands on the combat because ace.
Cool.
The last one, I don't think you played this one.
No,
Brad.
I didn't.
Ben, are we ever getting a Dragon's Crown 2? Is it ever happening?
I love that you're
Vanillaware?
asking me like I know.
I don't.
You know.
Wait, hold on. Did anyone play that cool the Android game that was on the back of the badges?
I
No,
looked
so
for it. It
it's-
was like a TV
Yeah, you
screen
couldn't-
of a
it's
not
trailer.
It's
Yeah.
not playable.
Yeah.
What are they doing advertising on the back of everybody's badges if it's not even like there? It's not
Yeah.
even present.
They had a new trailer.
They had
So
like
it's a new
they had a
trailer.
TV like playing the trailer.
Dang.
That's
Yeah.
Vanillaware's new.
How's
game.
that trailer? Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I
That's
was
good
mad
shit.
that it wasn't playable.
It was good. It was a good trailer.
Oh yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool looking game.
I mean, Vanillaware.
Vanillaware.
Vanillaware. Last game, I just played it. It's Zwei. I believe that is how you pronounce that. It's by Falcom, who has done Trails in the Sky, and they've done East.
Spell
it. Zwei.
I mean that's Zwei. That's the
Zwei?
That's
Zwei.
German for two.
Zwei?
Zwei.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Zweihander.
Zwei.
The Evil Within
Yeah,
was
Zwei.
Project Zwei.
Zwei.
But this is an action
Within
RPG.
Cool.
And the demo setup was kind of weird, where they were like, "Here's all the dungeons. Which one do you go into? We took out the bosses, or the bosses have already been vanquished." And so I just went to the moon because why not?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
But the lead character has a really fun weapon, where basically it's this hook shot that you throw out, and then you do a spin with it. And then depending on which one you have, there'll be a different effect at the end. And so there's one of them where you can grab onto enemies and throw them at others. But the absolute best one is your freaking hook shot turns into like a hoverboard. And you get on it, and your friend that is with you, I had a little mage girl who was running around with me. She jumped on my soldiers, and you could just run into enemies. And you could do this. There was nothing limiting this at all. You
Great.
could just do it forever. And you could also just traverse the environment that way too. And so that was a lot of fun.
I'm sorry. Is this another 2D game?
No, it's a 3D isometric game.
Oh okay.
Yeah. And then the magic girl was really powerful as well. I had a bunch of different spells that I could choose from there. You could basically throw a bunch of different fireballs. There was an earth spell where you split the earth in 4 different directions, and you could just spam that all day, and it felt really good. I don't know if that was just that way in the demo that they were presenting us. Again, it was a little bit weird, and there was no context for what we were doing at all. I didn't get any significant dialogue. I didn't get any significant impression of the story. So it was basically just how it felt to traverse these dungeons.
It's like how do you pronounce the title? We'll explain that later.
Yeah.
Well, more details to come.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to say about it is this bizarre puzzle that we're into. And to be fair, the guy
Great.
presenting the demo said it was the hardest puzzle in the entire game.
Whoa.
Where I walk up to it and it says, "Turn yourself into a rabbit," and eventually this leads to other obscure instructions that involve weighing yourself, and there's a food system
cool.
basically where you can make different dishes.
Yeah.
And there's one where you have to put yourself on a scale, but you have to be fat. And in order to get fat, you have to eat just the right amount of food.
Turn yourself into a hippopotamus like that.
Something like that. I
Okay.
didn't get through the entire puzzle, but I thought that was kind of cool. Just puzzles that were using another system already in place in the game. So yeah.
Cool.
That's
stuff.
coming out soon.
Yeah.
So.
Good stuff. I'm gonna talk about my last game real quick.
Nice.
Yeah.
I played Lawbreakers today.
Ooh, should we
Aw.
get Jones played it?
I'll
Where did Jones
talk-
go?
yeah.
Rakers.
Guns up.
He bailed.
Jones bailed. It was
Jones
too much
bailed.
anime.
I only got to play one round.
Too much anime
Jones,
for
Yeah.
too much
Jones.
energy. Oh, too much anime. Yeah.
Jones has an anime tolerance, but we went past it.
Yeah, we broke him.
We went past it in the first game.
Yeah.
I'll just talk about my
I want
experience.
to show Jones Nappa.
You
Yeah.
like that will convince him.
I want like a
won't.
full review of Nappa from Jones.
What is he just looking at Nappa and
No,
then
he watches the
here's review?
Saiyan arc.
Okay.
So like a review on the entire Saiyan saga.
It's just I know Jones is gonna tear it apart, and I know he's.
Yeah, he'll tear him apart.
It's gonna tear it up. I just don't
You
want to
just
hear
don't
it.
want that, yeah.
He'll
I don't
tear
want
him
it.
apart.
Yeah.
But he'll probably love Goku, which is good.
You think Jones would love Goku?
I think this
Jones.
is a bet.
I think Jones will love Piccolo.
It's hard to not like Piccolo.
Piccolo for sure.
Why do you think Jones would respond to Piccolo specifically?
It's that Batman appeal.
Yeah, totally.
The Batman appeal.
edge.
You nailed it.
He's got the edge.
Piccolo's got the
I
edge.
Piccolo's
wanna
Batman
show-
style.
Jones Piccolo training Gohan,
Yes.
throwing him.
Yeah.
That,
for
I
sure.
think that's where we start.
That's
There.
where we
we
start.
don't start with Nappa. We start with.
We gotta start with Raditz.
No, you don't have
Raditz
to.
counts.
No. Jones
Dude,
will be
Raditz
checked out
sets
if you show
everything up.
Raditz.
Well,
Our
he's
job
gonna-
is- our
he's
job
gonna be
is
like,
to
why?
sell him.
He's gonna be like, why the hell is this main character like running on a snake for 30 episodes? No.
We'll just say Phil.
But then could you argue that you need the context of Piccolo from Dragon Ball?
I mean,
Do
it
we
would
start at
help, but
episode
no.
1?
By the way, I would say no. It's weird. Piccolo's got powers in Dragon Ball that disappeared entirely
Yeah.
in Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
and then for some reason he like remembers again in Super, like his extendable arms and like
Yes.
the fact
he does that. in
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
them.
does he?
Yeah.
But it is weird. I know what Kyle is talking about. Yeah.
And the fact that he can grow really huge, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
That's funny.
All right, I guess we stalled long enough for Jones. We should just talk about Lawbreakers.
Yeah, I'll
He's
just
not
talk about
coming.
what I played real quick.
Yeah,
He could fill in more later, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just played one round. I played on PC. Had the choice to pick.
Great.
First of all, they put me on like some weird esports stage. I was like, this is kind of intimidating.
Oh, so you were up on the big
yeah,
screen.
they just put me like up here. I was like,
Nice.
whoa, dude.
Yes.
I was like, I've never played this
Legit,
before.
they know you're a legit pro.
I did okay.
They knew, Brad.
But the mode I played was like, they were telling me like some crazy name, like get the ball into like the goal. I was like, so it's capture the flag. And the guy's like, yeah, but it's a little different.
No, but it's Scrud Ball.
I was like, okay. He's like, let me know what you think after you play. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right. So you got a bunch of heroes you could select.
Yeah.
Got your like tank kind of heroes, your more assassin kind of heroes, your healer kind of heroes.
What'd you pick?
I picked it was a defender, and I picked this character Michael because he's a robot with a shotgun.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, no brainer, right here.
always
Let's
count on
go.
you.
So this robot I played as, he had kind of like Overwatch. You have abilities, no slights, anything right like that, but you have abilities, and I believe you have an ultimate too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a shield I would put up, and some sort of like gravity thing. I think it
Shield
was.
in front of you, just in
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty sick actually.
Cool.
And oh no, he had a move where you can get extra armor or something like that, but you move slower. It's
Oh,
pretty
that's
sweet,
cool.
yeah. But yeah, it's super fast paced for all those
There,
people.
Jones.
There he is. So all those people out there who grew up playing Quake
Yeah.
and Unreal Champion,
Lawbreakers.
Unreal
Yeah.
Tournament, this game is going to be totally for you. Everything's super fast, twitchy. Everything felt real good, which I was really happy
Super
with.
fast.
Super fast. Super
crazy,
chaotic
crazy,
too, if you
chaotic.
really love that kind of stuff.
What's crazy is that it's on console, they've said, with a gamepad.
He played on
Played on
console.
PS4.
Yeah.
That is crazy because Quake 3 or Quake Champions is not on console, or is it, Ben?
No.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
not because
no.
and I could never imagine it being on console. So is it similar in speed?
I
Is
didn't
it
play it on
compromised?
console. I don't know.
I it's a tragedy you bring that up, Huber. I picked probably the slowest character of everybody that was there.
Who'd you pick?
I picked use a Titan class. I think his name was Kronos or something
Oh, the
like
guy
that.
with the rocket launcher, right?
Yeah.
Wilson?
Just big guy, very slow,
Yeah.
big, heavy. And I picked it for a lot of reasons. Like when we went over, the guy that grabbed us for the appointment, he was like, "One of you better do defense," and I was like, "Okay, just in case,
Yeah.
I'll do that in
Yeah,
case
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
else does."
Nice.
And I was like, "Hey, Brad's playing it. Like he plays a lot of Overwatch. He's probably gonna have a more like trusted opinion about like referencing this to other games. And I don't typically play this type of class. It might be kind of fun to just shake
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up
totally.
and do something that's out of my whaelhouse." Yeah, his abilities were fun. He had like the Destiny like jump smash
Yeah.
the Sentinels have, whatever they're called in Destiny. There's so many names.
Titan.
Titans. And he had a rocket launcher. I didn't learn this until the end. like thank you to the developer that like leaned in and she's like, you can detonate those in the air. And I was like, oh, so if you like
Yeah.
shoot something into the room and you don't have to worry about exactly hitting them, you can just I would like shoot into a room and then duck away and like hit it.
One of my favorite mechanics. I love being able to detonate a rocket in midair. I love.
And you
I
had
love
3 abilities, just thought that was cool. So like
Yeah.
R1, L1 are 2 different abilities on the controller,
Then you had, like, the
and
ultimate one.
triangle was your like big
Yeah.
one. And he had, one of them was a grenade. I couldn't really figure out what that was doing, and the other one was the smash. And his
Yeah.
big ability, he would put his weapon away and basically become the emperor. He would just lightning, and then that would like chain to people. But it didn't have good range, so it was
Yeah.
tricky. Like I had to get in close, and we were basically playing like capture the flag, but
Yeah,
with
the ball thing.
with the ball that was bouncing around. So like if I was chasing after a guy, it was not a smart thing to do to like switch to that mode.
Also, there's no like. There was like only health pickups, kind of like old school PC things. Like you had to go to like a health kind of station to recharge.
armor as well, or just health.
I think it was just health, from what I call. I played another character too. I was switching off quite a bit. I think it's the girl they show in the trailer a lot with the grappling hook.
Yeah.
She had like a pistol kind of thing, or like some machine gun or something, but she had like a sword too, a melee kind of thing, which was really sweet.
Brad, I know this is not the most ideal environment for teamwork. You know, kind of you get thrown into this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're not with your buddies, voice chat, whatever. Did you feel like a lone wolf in this, or was there a heavy on the team aspect?
It's hard to tell with just playing one round in a game like
Yeah,
this, and with
totally.
just people who have never played that game before. It's really hard for me to judge accurately, like what the game is supposed to be played as, or what's the best strategy. But I feel like there wasn't a lot of defense because everyone's just like, yeah, kill.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
feel like
for
if
sure,
someone
for
was
sure.
playing defense, it made a big difference, kind of thing like that. And the devs were like, yeah, stick with your team, stay with your team.
Cool. They were really hoping
that
everyone would together.
happened more and more as it started, and like I mean, I was so obsessed with learning the abilities. Admittedly, like it took me like a couple minutes to be like, oh, there's the ball. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Noticing the like protect, destroy, like those
Yeah.
little cues.
Yeah, there's a lot of low gravity too in it, in areas
Yeah.
like that.
Do you know what triggers that? Does that just happen randomly?
I think it was
or,
like just like in certain little areas. I was kind of trying to figure out exactly what triggered it.
I wouldn't really tell that happened until I would just sometimes like
It was like when
do a
you're-
double jump and see like
When
oh,
you were
oh yeah, we're zero
outside,
G.
it seemed like it was doing it more.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with this game when I played it.
It was extremely chaotic.
Yeah.
Like of all the shooters that I play, certainly lots of stuff that's on the PS4.
Yeah, but it's like it's calling back to those old PC shooters that people love like that. So I think if you're into those games, this game's a no-brainer for you.
And it's not 60, right?
It's $30.
$30.
And I'm really happy because I played this game. The only other match that I did was 2 years ago at PAX. I got to check out Lawbreakers, and I won that one too. So I'm currently 2-0, undefeated.
Yeah.
Lawbreakers.
Nice.
So if I don't play this game, I will remain
stuff.
undefeated forever.
Defender
But,
Jones.
definitely check it
getting
out.
those
Yeah.
wins.
Getting those wins.
I'm down to play the Spider-Man
Yeah.
whip character jumping around.
I'm gonna be curious to see what you think of it, Ben, because you've been playing Quake Champions, and you too, actually.
Yeah.
It looked really good to me. I just haven't had an opportunity to play it at all.
I've kind of, Quake Champions, like,
Huber, I know.
put me in such a depressing
I was gonna say,
place.
I know, like Twitch shooters freak you out.
Yeah, because like I used to play, Unreal Tournament, Quake, Counter-Strike. Like I grew up with these, and now I just get destroyed in them. It's like
I think you would be okay.
You only played one match of Quake Champions, though,
I
right?
know,
It had
yeah,
been like
'cause the
15
first-
years since you've played Quake.
yeah.
The first match of Quake Champions I played, I didn't do super well, but then immediately after that, the next match I did
Yeah.
better, and then the match after that I did better. It's just, you just gotta
Gotta
shake
put in
up
the
the
time.
rust.
And
For
some
sure,
of the,
for sure.
Some of the characters I play with seem a little more forgiving because you have things like more armor to balance that out. Because if you're not super twitchy like that, you can have something to help you. You put up a shield, catch your bearings real quick, or something like
That's why I
that.
like Reinhardt.
Yes.
In Overwatch.
Cool. That's gonna do it for me though.
For Brad Ellis.
Brett Ellis.
Good game.
Are you not in for Knack 2, dude?
When are we doing Knack 2?
Right now,
If
before
we do
you
Knack
leave.
2, I'm in it.
Okay.
Right now.
Let's do Knack 2.
Knack 2.
Let's do Knack 2.
Knack 2.
Are you down? Huber, you down?
Yes.
Huber's okay. I maybe interject, but
I didn't play Knack 2.
I didn't play the full demo. I only played for about 5 minutes. So.
Jones, get on side cam. I'm mad that Damiani turned side cam off.
Tell me you guys played.
This is a house, dude.
Tell me you guys played the mission rather than the arena thing.
I did both, baby.
Excellent.
I'm ready to talk about both.
Okay.
Arena. Trying to remember what the arena. Oh wait, I think I played both.
Arena is
Was it more combat or more jumpy?
It's the combat. It's the one where like this is a culture who respects combat.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
learn
yeah.
some new
Oh,
moves.
Oh yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
what
remember
Brad-
that.
Obviously, me and Huber did that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
I got to do both.
Figure out
You
where I
did,
put it.
Kyle. That says
didn't get
something
to do
about-
Actually,
both.
can I set this up in an interesting way?
Yes.
So, as Jones said, this is in the press Sony booth, which is, by the way, they're so nice. There's 4K TVs. There's these really nice, this furniture, that's like 2 nice couches in front of it, and it's not busy. Basically, you can play any game you want with like a.
Must be
You're like
nice.
second in line for any game you want. It's so cool. Not any game, sorry. A selection of 10 games. So I sit down for Knack 2.
Less than that, I think, but yeah.
Well, how long the demo is, basically. I sit down for Knack 2, and the guy starts explaining it, and I say, well actually, so I've played through Knack 1, thinking that like he probably gets a lot of journalists who haven't played through it. And he goes, yeah, I've seen your videos, man. And like it changes like.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so this is gonna go a little different. Okay, all right.
You were lying.
No, yeah.
This is true.
And he didn't say it with that much sass, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I've seen your videos. And it's like, okay.
He's trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Cerny?
It was not Mark Cerny, no.
Mark Cerny would not talk to Kyle.
It would be like, you get out.
Oh my god.
But it was the way that was framed is, let me explain to you why this isn't the game that you all laugh
Yes,
at. And that's
yes.
what Knack 2 is.
Knack 2
Yeah.
is an atonement.
Atonement. Trademark Polygon.
Yeah,
but,
trademark Polygon.
It turns out to be more true than we thought.
Knack 2 is a really solid game.
Yeah.
Brad and I played
Yep.
it, and one of the most underrated things about Knack 1 is that it's not difficult, but it is harder than you expect it to be in combat.
It's not completely mindless.
yeah, like you have to dodge. You get hit and
Block.
killed like pretty quickly.
Let's start with that stuff. There's a parry
Yeah.
button now.
Yeah.
If you
love
hit
it.
L1 at the right moment, you're going to do a parry. Knack
Was
is
it
parrying.
only ranged attacks you can do on, or is it
No, you
like
can do it
physical
on
ones?
melee attacks
Okay.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But with the other Robo Knack, you can only do it on parry ranged. So there is particular things you can't.
Oh,
parry.
if there's 2 of you, you
no,
can.
no, that Robo Knack in the
yeah,
arena.
yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
If you care about Knack lore, there are other relic creatures in this game.
Kyle,
Yeah.
dude, my theory of Knack 2
Yeah.
is that they're going to be these other creatures, and it's going to be about like Knack coming to terms with like himself not being the most powerful. Who am I? Yeah, like, who am I?
yeah.
There are others that like it's gonna be like the new generation, like the
Yeah.
new model
New
coming
model.
in,
Yeah.
and like he's gonna be the old guard.
I mean,
like
that's part of Knack 1.
Yeah.
There's that moment Gundahar's like, hey man, why are you on their side? Why are you hiding? You're not a human. You're a relic creature and you're super powerful. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm nothing like you. And then
Did he tell you though that they have the rider from God of War?
yes.
In his story.
Yes. They're not
stuff.
playing around. And I think
they're
that
not
is
playing
not. I think the God of War influence does not end there. I think it's in the
Totally.
gameplay strongly.
Oh, it
That's
is.
in level design
Especially
as well.
when you get a certain power up, I would say.
Let's talk about it.
so you get this power up. It's like a hold circle to do a charge punch.
Yeah.
And charge punch can go through the shield. Some characters come down with shields.
Yeah.
There's these really sick characters with like bow staffs.
Yeah, we're finding like kung fu dudes.
Kung
Yes.
fu
Yeah.
dudes are like spinning these staffs around, and like you gotta watch out. You gotta dodge back because it's like, you know, they have there's the range, so you can't just go in and start mashing. You have to know when you can go in and attack. A little easier in co-op. I got to play single player for like a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, we double teamed. Like,
Yeah,
everybody.
so I feel like co-op is a little easier in that
yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
I
well, the
noticed
thing
it
is-
was
But no,
the
here's the-
same. It was the same amount of enemies though, single player and co-op. The
Yeah.
same amount of people we were fighting. Single player, they're coming at you from both sides. Co-op, one would go for Brad, kiting him away, and then I would
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
in
but did you
behind.
see that there's extra stuff with co-op?
It's so good. The co-op
Yeah.
attacks.
Like
So
yeah.
we had
we
a problem with this.
what?
We had a problem.
Oh, with one of them.
So when you hold circle to do the charge punch,
Yeah.
it like
It
auto
locks
goes
onto your
to
partner
my friend
sometimes.
and knocks him back.
Yeah.
It was really finicky. That's something that can get ironed out, hopefully.
But
it was really
if you utilize
messing.
it, it's a
if
really
you
cool
use it like
move.
Yeah.
correctly,
Yes.
but it was not 100% reliable at the time.
Correct. Yes.
But the other ones where you can like do the shooting thing out of the chest, like
Yeah.
the Knack pieces.
Yeah.
So one Knack can punch bullets.
Yeah, like
through
the
other
easy
Knack.
punches.
Yeah, he hits the relics and it like
Yeah, Knack's
basically
just, like,
turns
heavy
them into
arms,
shrapnel.
like,
Yeah.
shooting them out.
Oh, it's so good. And the other one is you can body slam the other Knack to cause an explosion.
Yeah, that was sweet. We
Body
did that
slam.
one a lot,
The
yeah.
body slam.
And so co-op is not an afterthought in this game. I think it's a focus even. There's
Was
stuff
that,
you're missing out on if you're not doing
Was
co-op.
that gold like Super Saiyan power up in Knack 1? I don't remember.
No.
So you like get this like this glowing orb, and Knack goes like gold Super Saiyan.
Oh, right,
And you
yeah.
get like 2 swords.
Double
and
blades.
He becomes Kratos from God of War, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And I asked if that's going to escalate. It will. So
Yeah,
Super
it's just like
Saiyan
phase
Knack
1.
Is like Sword Knack is that's just the beginning. We'll see more.
He's
eventually.
getting at the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Because actually, he said later on, it wasn't demoed also, that he's going to have a grapple move where he does reach out and grab
Really?
something and pull him in.
That's
Nice.
really cool.
Oh, yeah. Because that's the thing. Knack's going to get new moves, and you can upgrade certain moves and upgrade certain abilities.
Yeah, they
within
made
Knack.
it.
Another one of my favorite things the dev said was that finding secrets in this game, because Knack 1 had a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
A lot of good secrets, but you needed to like finish the game to use them. Remember that? It was
Oh,
like
I hated them, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get secrets from you, but none of my
Yeah.
friends at the time had actually played the game, so
I found a bunch from you because I played it after
Yeah,
me. It was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, well, I felt like a lot
So-
of the secrets are just kind of like they weren't really secrets. It was just like this obvious is like, oh, well, there's the outline of a door and you punch the ice off of it, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this, a lot of them use your size.
Correct. So that is the best thing I heard about this game was that you lose blocks like as you get hit and move along the stage. So some of these secrets you're gonna have to like perfect your way through the stage to be able to access them.
No. You hit R1 to shrink, and then you hit R1 again, and you get all your blocks back.
All of them though?
Yeah.
I thought you can lose.
I think you like you.
Not for pressing R1. You get all
No. What he's talking about, so you have like a bit of, you have an amount of shield.
yeah.
After your shield is gone, then you start shrinking.
Yeah, you
so
start
it's not,
shrinking,
You don't have to be
Kyle, like in
necessarily
Knack 1. You
perfect
start
through the
losing
level
pieces,
to
yeah.
be full size.
Like in Knack 1, remember you'd be just small if you kept getting hit a bunch, and then you'd have to find more relics along the
There's
way.
still a minimum size you're going to be as you progress through that level.
The way he was saying this was like you will miss out on a lot of secrets if you take too much damage.
Whoa. Okay.
So
Again,
But
I
it's
think
still-
I was
it's
like
too
probably
much. It's
too
not the
good,
same as
and I
being
never got to
perfect.
that
you're
point.
too
You played on easy. We know that.
But the other, the other thing though is like a lot of them are just about, as Kyle was saying, just like dropping your relics and becoming small.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ledges that you just, as large Knack, you just kind of overlook.
Yeah.
And
But
you-
I wouldn't say they're unfair. They're usually indicated by like a little yellow crystal or something. There's usually something to draw your attention over to those ledges, I think.
For sure.
sometimes I
The
don't
early
think I don't
stages.
think all of
Early
them.
stages,
but
because they want to teach you about
early
it. Yeah.
levels.
Yeah, sometimes some of the ones I saw, there was just, oh, there's a ledge there that I didn't think about walking on, and you follow it and you get around the corner, and then it goes down into a tunnel, and there's a chest in there.
Yeah.
The other thing that he talked about in terms of the platforming and level design, and I love this, is it changes based on the difficulty that you select. So there's
GoldenEye style.
So if there's an easy path, and then when you go onto like the normal path, like there's a drawbridge that keeps you from going the easy path. You have to
Oh.
go a different way.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Love that. Replay value.
Atonement.
It's really cool. I mean, it unlike GoldenEye, there's just two. There's like the easy path.
There's not
and
like
the
a harder.
normal.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
So it's easy and normal.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
And then every
But the
other
enemies
difficulty.
are obviously stronger on harder.
Yeah,
modes.
yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, it is cool, I think, to have an easy platforming version of the exact same levels. I think that is cool.
Yep.
There's also like for co-op for like ease of use, they added this thing where you can just port over to the
Yeah.
other
Yeah, I
Knack.
think it's R2. You just teleport
And
to
if
him.
you miss a jump 3 times, it'll just like, you know what, we're gonna let the other Knack take control for a little while, and then you can catch up again.
And double quick time events.
Oh, where you share
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Yeah, you share the quick time events.
You both have to hit that button.
Both prompts will come up for both players at the same time. It was really fun.
Yeah. Tell me about the platforming level a little. What
It's
happened?
cool. So what I like about it is you're in this land and there's kind of like NPCs around. It's beautiful, beautiful level.
I'm
Huge scale.
still not that into the art style, but okay.
Blood does not like the art style.
The way
of Knack.
Knack looks is probably still the lowest point for me.
Dang.
It's brutal.
Dang.
Brutal. Blood's got no love for Knack, the character. What I
I didn't mean the way Knack himself looked. Actually, Knack himself, I think, is fine. It's the other characters and
Like
the
the humans
environments.
and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
the humans.
Yeah, kind of goofy.
They're a little weird. They're really. They changed their eyes a little bit. I think in a good way.
I love the Doctor. He looks so cool.
Is the Doctor? I didn't see him in this game.
Oh, he was there. He was up on the balcony. Like,
Oh, at the martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like, he's probably gonna be like, yeah, Knack, like, you know, all these new generations, like, it's gonna tie into that, you know, his creation. He's gonna maybe want to build something else, like build
He's
a
gonna be
stronger
like,
Knack.
you're worthless, Knack.
Yeah.
No, so actually help me with some Knack lore. He was looking for his wife. No, he presumed his wife dead.
Yeah.
And then his wife was alive. Did they end up together in the end of that game?
I forget.
Chat, let us know.
I
That's
remember he was kind of a
important Knack
jerk,
lore.
so I hope not.
No,
From
I
what
think
remember.
yeah, he was. He was totally awful to her.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a serene, nice, like, I like this idea of some levels are going to be like, there's no immediate danger right now. But what I like about Knack 1 is the progression through an individual level of small Knack to large Knack.
Yeah.
The idea that the enemies that are huge to you at the beginning of the level
Yes.
are tiny and you can squash them by the end of the level. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah,
They weren't
and that's
demonstrating that with this, but
yeah,
the keys
that we didn't. We really only
ideas.
saw the normal,
Yeah.
normal big and normal small.
I think that they've got some cool ideas. Oh, you know what they said for shrinking, for hitting R1 and becoming little Knack, is that there's some enemies that are big to little Knack that, like, let's say you're medium Knack, you shrink into little Knack, you can climb up inside them and control them.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yes.
Ant-Man style.
Yeah.
Wow.
So cool.
That they'll just have holes that little Knack can get up in, and then you can actually use them up against the other. Oh my gosh.
I am not even kidding when I tell you that I am eagerly anticipating Knack 2.
Yeah.
I'm like ready to sit back on a couch
Yeah.
and co-op this game.
Compare my hype of like Knack 2 to Shadow of War. It's like buy Shadow of War. I'm playing
Yeah.
Knack 2.
yeah. For sure.
Playing Knack 2, dude.
Because Knack 2 has that balance too of like the combat is hard enough to keep you on your toes and keep you engaged, but it's
Yeah.
also like a pretty kick-back, laid-back,
Yeah,
chill
I mean,
vibe.
it's
you know?
just not. That's the thing. Is the combat before is just dull and repetitive, and without that much platforming, it just didn't feel that
Hubert,
good to go through.
That's my biggest concern is I got really bored going through levels in Knack 1.
for sure.
I would just get bored, dude.
Knack
You
2,
won't,
baby.
because
Knack
you're,
2.
you're actually progressing. Your
Bigger,
character's
better.
progressing.
Okay.
Every
Atonement.
attack you do-
Atonement.
Yeah.
I gotta believe. Atonement. All right.
They've been working on this for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have, actually.
Will Gundahar reveal himself?
and they said it's only $40, right?
Gunahar's gonna
they're
have,
making it cheap.
cheaper,
it's a
yeah.
$40 game.
Gunahar's
So-
gonna have like scars and stuff and be like, I found you, Knack.
Yeah.
You will pay for what you did.
It's not too late to join my side, Knack.
Yeah.
Stop hanging out with the humans. Join me.
There's
Join
gonna be that moment
Yeah.
where Knack maybe goes with him.
I'm getting chills.
Oh, no. I'm bailing out now.
Knack 2, huge improvement.
Huge.
There's reason to be excited about Knack in a non-ironic way, and that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before I leave, thank you for watching, everybody.
Oh,
you guys
rad.
and thanks for being here with everybody, dude. This E3 was a blast. Appreciate everyone in chat hanging out with us all night long. It's been a good time. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Don't stay up
See
too
you
late.
in
Don't stay up too late,
We're
guys.
staying
See you
up
in
late,
Eorzea,
baby.
Brad. I'll see you.
Yeah.
See you in the Discord chat. 14.
We should get Damiani in so Damiani could leave.
Yeah. So
Damiani, you got any more
Damiani's also B-roll master.
I
So
can be B-roll master.
B-roll.
I can do that.
okay. Well,
B-roll.
yeah. Can you show Kyle where you put all that then? The stuff that you've already got from mine, so he can do that later.
Akashic Records.
Yeah, scene 14.
Good night, everybody.
I just want to talk about Monster Hunter.
Just want to talk about Attack on Titan Season 2. Watching it Sunday, Ben. Attack on Titan Season 2.
You promise.
I promise,
You
Sunday.
promised 2 episodes.
100% Sunday. I'm ready.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pumped. So pumped.
Are we doing Rabbids? That's what I played. Oh well, I want to do this one too.
Ooh, I played
All right,
Rabbids.
let's just go with go.
Like here, but I gotta show you what it says.
Yeah.
Rabbids.
What?
Yeah.
Everything is in here except for
The Raving Rabbids. How you doing, chat?
the trailers. Sony.
Just in a little transitional period right now.
Only one of those in there, but every single other one.
Dan,
is in
What's up?
how you doing?
Doing good. Sorry, I was trying to follow the conversation over there.
All right. Here comes the rest of the panel.
So somebody asked about Spider-Man. We got some solid Spider-Man thoughts from Jones, and when it comes time for me, I'm gonna do a lightning round, and I'm gonna expunge my Spider-Man thoughts within my little Kyle E3 lightning round.
Spider-Man is a 5-star game.
Wait, have you watched the demo too?
Yeah.
Should we have a Spider-Man talk?
Spider-Man, dude.
I mean, Blood saw
The
it too.
movement is insane to me. Like when Jones was saying it was the most polished game.
But Jones is going to be in on that, right?
Jones, he had
already-
his
he
piece.
already-
When
Yeah,
Jones said
okay.
it was the most polished game
he's
he
back.
saw at E3, like I agree. I agree.
Jones, are you down for a little extra Spider-Man talk?
That city Jones when he's flying
But
around
don't we
the
want to
city,
get Damiani out of here?
New
first?
York City
Yeah,
felt
yeah, yeah, yeah.
alive,
We're
Kyle.
gonna get Damiani out first.
It felt living.
Save it.
There were like
Save it.
100
Felt living.
cars on the road.
Save it.
Okay.
Then don't we already have Rabbids B-roll rolling right now?
Yes.
We do.
It says Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah.
Rabbids.
Michael Damiani.
Kyle Bossman.
I want to know where you stood when it was a rumor on Mario plus Rabbids.
So,
When we first heard of this.
when I first heard of it,
Yeah.
so before I saw anything about it,
Yeah.
just the rumors.
Yeah.
Very worried. Just when we're in the rumor phase, like all the inklings about it, but we had not seen a single shred of artwork,
Yeah.
screenshot, anything about it. So I was like, I don't know about this. A little worried. Then I see the image. It leaks.
Can I wait before that?
Like we're rewinded.
Yeah. I was on record when that first rumor leaked that the Rabbids and Mario game would review better than the new Mario game.
Wow.
I'm
And
glad
this is
you're on
before-
record.
this
I'm
is-
glad you're on record
I
for
know,
that
I know.
because
I just wanted to say that because I was on board from the beginning of this. I said, oh, an RPG with Rabbids, that's going to be so good. And I had no idea that Mario Odyssey would be spurned out. Or not
I think the
spurned out.
problem
but-
was we had nothing to go on,
What?
or at least I had nothing to go on other than rumors, like visually.
The rumor was it was an RPG.
But no visuals, no nothing. I had
You didn't
no-
need visuals.
Yeah, I did. I needed
Okay.
to know what type of game it was really
Wait,
going to
what
be.
are you
RPG
just
is so
saying that
broad.
you thought this game would be good?
Yeah.
Yeah, from
So
the,
you just want credit right now?
he wants yes.
I want credit
You're
for this.
fishing for credit.
credit
Literally
for
wants.
this.
That's all you
he
want.
wants
Yeah.
a little badge that says
Yeah.
I liked.
I
Rabbids."
knew
No, no, no.
everybody.
I
I
liked
knew it.
Rabbids.
I knew
before it
Rabbids
was
and
cool.
Mario.
Yeah.
You're basically Matthew McConaughey. I liked Rabbids before they were cool. Yeah.
What can I say?
Kyle. Anyway.
Yeah.
Leaked image came out.
Yep. Leaked image.
For a very small window of time.
Yep.
I was a little bummed. But then I sat down and I pondered. Became
Yeah.
very pensive.
Yeah.
And I wondered, maybe this won't be so bad. Let's think about what this could possibly be. More details came out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is probably just gonna be like XCOM, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
If I had to envision this, that's probably what they're gonna copy.
Yeah.
And here we are right now, after seeing the trailers, after playing it.
Yeah.
It is Super Mario Rabbids crossover with XCOM gameplay.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
it's Ubisoft's XCOM using Mario characters.
That's what's kind of cute about these two things combining is they're combining in a game that neither of them have ever been in before. The Rabbids have never
Right.
been in a strategy game. Mario's never really been in a strategy game.
What was that launch game for 3DS? It was like Ghost Recon something.
Ghost Recon Shadow Babies.
Shadow
What was
Mordor.
it? Shadow
Shadow
Warrior?
Nuts.
Shadow Nuts.
Shadow
Jones,
Nuts.
what is it? Shadow something.
For what? What goes for
3DS
Ghost Recon
launch
Shadow
game.
Nuts.
Oh,
It was by like the original some of the original
It's in
XCOM
chat
guys.
right now. Just read chat.
okay.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Peach Splash. Shadow Wars.
Shadow Wars.
Shadow
There we
Wars.
go.
Yeah, so I wonder if any of those guys were involved in this.
I asked. They're not.
Ghost Recon
They're
Shadow
not.
Wars.
Yeah.
Huh. Crazy.
Different team. Yeah.
It's so much like XCOM.
Yeah, positioning super important. Movement,
Oh, go right in.
like going,
Going right in. Let's do it.
getting the encouragement to melee the enemy.
Yeah, that's
as
really
as a
Oh, the
bonus
slide
attack.
tackle
Yeah,
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get
I
a
love that.
So you get a bonus attack. So it encourages you to constantly move around the map rather than hunker down,
yeah.
which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
I was super aggressive when we were playing.
Yeah.
Kyle's like, Damiani, what are you doing? You can't be exposed like that. I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, we're gonna set this up so I can do a slide tackle,
Yeah.
and then a launch jump,
Launch up into
But
the
then Kyle,
pipe.
I innovated the slide tackle and launch jump. That was my trick.
Then Kyle was like, one point, he's like, Damiani, what are you doing? You crazy madman. you forgot to slide tackle the guy. You're always like, add this complicated thing. You're like, no, add another layer of coolness.
Yeah,
to
so
your attack.
we should make that clear. So you you can click on an enemy in slide tackle and then continue your movement phase. So there's a movement phase and then a shooting phase.
Yes.
And then so you've got your grid like Fire Emblem or a lot of other strategy games. You can see the blue space that you can move to.
Yeah.
And then once you hunker down, then you have the red space that you can shoot to. But while you're in your movement phase, you can tackle a guy, and then there's like pipes in some parts of the level, so you can like go down and like pop up on the other side of the level or pop up on a higher ground, and take the high ground that way. And then the other crazy thing is if you click on one of your own units, then they can basically just like launch you into the air and double your movement speed. You can basically take 2 movement turns.
Yeah.
With that.
Mobility.
Crazy mobility. Another thing that I think, here's the only like bad thing I'll say that you might not pick up from the trailers. When you're in the overworld, when you're moving around, it's a little framey.
Yep.
And the cutscenes are super compressed looking. Definitely the anything that was like pre-rendered is kind of like blurry and fuzzy, in a way that's like, oh, they compress this a lot. Am I the one who got those vibes?
I think it was because it was like 4K TVs for a Switch game or something. Did that have anything to do with it?
4K TVs for a Switch game. We played at Nintendo's booth.
Nintendo was
so
not rocking
I don't think
4K
Nintendo would
TVs
have
in their
4K
booth.
TVs at their booth.
But no, those are the only 2 negatives. It still looks gorgeous. It is a gorgeous looking Switch game.
The other funny thing is they're almost like Easter eggs, but when you're walking around the overworld, there are like Rabbids like doing weird things in the background, and you can stop and look at them.
The little Roomba will give you like a comment
Yeah.
about them. Yeah.
Oh, we should say that too. You don't control the characters; you control the Roomba thing.
Yeah.
And so when you pick up coins, it's not when the characters go over them; it's when the Roomba goes over them.
Yeah.
I'm not super big on Rabbids, so I'm wondering how much I will want to explore those characters, because you would just like, there'd be a magnifying glass and it'd be like click here, and then it's like, a rabbit going "Wah!" like off in some giant, he's sitting on a giant toilet.
Well, yeah, but then there's the other one where it's like the Goomba getting his butt washed. You know what I mean? That's a Goomba. You don't want to click on that Goomba getting his butt washed?
Click on all the Goombas.
Yeah.
They're also like little mazes and stuff, so you kind of find your way through a maze, and you'll get like a treasure chest with a new weapon or something in there.
Yeah.
Although the weapon, you unlock it to purchase it. You don't actually like, get the weapon. You then have to spend coins. So again, picking up coins is important. Yeah.
And the weapons changed the matchup flow a little bit. There was one that had knockback. So you'd shoot them and it would knock the enemies back.
Great.
There was a lifesteal one. You would gain health.
Yeah, there's a vampire effect, basically. And so for that turn, after that enemy is shot, not just the person that shot them, but everybody that attacks that enemy drains life out of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, until the next turn. I did it on the Piranha Plant boss.
Yeah, this boss fight.
So you got to do the boss one.
Nice.
We didn't get to see that.
Oh, dude, so you guys didn't see the reveal at the end then?
Nope.
No.
Reveal it, Huber.
Can I
I've been waiting for this reveal. This is the
right.
only thing I want to say about this.
Yeah.
The very end.
Yes.
Who steps out of the
Oh,
shadows
this is after the boss fight.
after the boss fight?
It is a giant white rabbit with a DK tie.
No.
Nope.
Oh.
It is Bowser Jr.
Is he responsible for this?
Straight up Bowser Jr., not
Jr.
Rabbit Bowser Jr.
So this is all some Bowser Jr. hype.
Bowser Jr. coming out.
Yep.
Fade to black.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You're like walking away, and
Yeah.
then you can see him kind of come in the back of the frame. Yeah.
Come into frame.
Nice.
Up to something.
It was actually so it's really funny
Yes.
because Damiani had our 1 hour at Nintendo, and we had played some Mario Odyssey. It's like, okay, and we also really want to check out Mario and Rabbids. We played I think 5 minutes, and we're like, this is great. We got it. Let's play more Odyssey. It was
Right.
basically that.
No,
It
I
was
mean,
honestly-
I did
Dude,
kind of
I
the
was
same
like-
thing.
Yeah.
I was halfway through the demo. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is perfect. I really don't need to play anything else.
Well,
But I
we
finished it.
had a Ubisoft appointment, so we were able to play through the full
okay.
thing with
Yeah.
the devs, who apparently are really big fans of us, which I had no idea.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're pumped for us.
And then, but when I went to Nintendo today, I kind of did the same thing. Like I played both Mario levels, and then I played Fire Emblem Warriors, and did that mission, like one mission.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, she told me the other stuff that they had on there, and I'm like, I'm just gonna play more Mario.
Yeah.
Mario, good choice. Good choice.
Because I mean, Rabbids was one of them, and I'd already played it.
Yeah.
Arms was one of them. I've already played it. And I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones were, but it was just
They had FIFA on those.
FIFA I didn't
Yeah,
need.
Here's my question: did anyone? Because Game Informer got hands on. Was that exclusive for Metroid Samus Returns? Was that
I think it
playable
might have
anywhere?
been on the floor in a section somewhere, but I didn't look through the booth closely enough.
So my one regret. Because
You may have to just asked about it
they didn't offer
specifically.
it to us when we did our appointment. I
didn't
didn't see any 3DS.
I didn't see it on the
around.
floor.
Yeah, they just sat us down on one Wii U and swapped games.
I'm not quite ready to move on
Switch?
from Rabbids because I do have a question.
Switch, yeah, sorry.
Do you want to talk about the boss fight?
I think they mentioned you get outfits. Is that? Do we have that
in the,
confirmed?
I saw in the menu there were skills.
think
I know you get
so.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we
'Cause
had,
that's really
I had there's a skill with Mario, which was sort of like Overwatch.
Yes. Yeah.
So basically, if anyone moved, then he would automatically respawn and attack them.
yeah. Yep.
Let me see if I can remember what some of the other ones were.
Jones, can you check chat for confirmation on costumes?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Jones.
Oh, you can destroy cover. That's one of the things. There's a lot of
yeah.
explosive
So cool.
cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to see. If I
And one
wrote
last-
down any of the other abilities. I do remember other people having some abilities too.
Huber, with the reveal, Bowser Jr. With
Somebody
the
had like
reveal
a
of the
healing
boss.
ability, and then he had like a 3-turn cooldown on it.
Cool. What I'm most interested in, what I would like to see, but I don't actually at this point think is necessary, but I love it, is more dialogue, more story elements to this. Were those apparent when the boss appeared or when Bowser Jr. appeared?
Yeah, the boss, they like morph it into something. There was like
Who's they?
the Rabbids, like something
Bad
got
Rabbids.
shot. Yeah, something got shot, or the piranha plant got like hit with something, and it like morphed into a big piranha plant. There was like a lot of heavy on the cutscenes.
yeah. I forget.
okay.
Yeah.
I forget. But there was like a rabbit and a regular piranha plant,
Yeah,
and then somebody like hit them. I forget what it was.
yeah,
exactly.
I forget. Yeah, something.
But then they like blended into
Merged.
Yeah.
the big
Yeah,
PD
that's
piranha
in the trailer.
rabbit thing.
It looked like
Yeah.
it was a rabid piranha with a
Yeah.
piranha plant head.
it was a cool boss fight. A lot of health, a lot of turns.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
A lot of ads. There's like snipers on the perches, so
Yeah.
you need to like take them out
Yeah.
first.
Cool.
Isolate the boss.
Like it.
And
Yeah.
then the other ability was they had like there's a temporary invulnerability that you could activate, so you could go in hot with somebody.
Jones, do we have confirmation on the costumes?
Some people said definitely no. Everyone else is not sure.
Okay.
Probably no.
No information.
I don't remember any
I
costume,
really think there are.
but maybe.
Oh, well, I mean, if somebody says definitely no in chat, they're usually right. I'll have to accept that.
I assume we played the very first level, so it was
Yeah.
fairly linear. It was extremely linear. You were
Yeah, it
just
felt like the
walking
beginning
down,
of the game. Yeah.
walking down the normal path. So I'm hoping later.
There was some
my
some branching stuff though. I remember going through some side paths and doing some secrets, and there's this one puzzle
I hope that
where like
expands,
you had like all of these like twisting. They're like bridges that went two ways, and then you had to like twist them like clocks, like gears, to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
get the path to the secret, and then
Yeah.
twist them the right way to go back onto the main path.
Yeah.
And I do like the promise that we want those more complicated, and this idea of giant rabid Donkey Kong is the idea that he's just a peek at the weird effed up versions of Mario characters. I love that. I want to see more really disturbing versions of things that we've been seeing the same exact. It's like there's Mario McDonald's toys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're so bland, they're so boring and disinteresting. And I think that this Rabbids game finally is like, hey, we're going weird with this stuff. If they had Rabbids Mario McDonald's toys, I'd buy every single one.
Yeah.
I like it. I like seeing these things that had become so bland and so traditional. I think with the introduction of the new Super Mario series, like everything had become so homogenous, and it's exciting to see anything weird about that. It's cool. Also, Odyssey is super weird too, which makes me so excited.
Cool. Rabbids.
Rabbids, not bad.
Mario and
Not
Rabbids.
bad at all.
Yeah.
Not bad
August
at all.
29th.
Do not be concerned.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Damiani?
Stormblood.
No.
Did you give blood?
No.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Chat, there was a giant
What?
Stormblood
Bus.
outside,
of West Hall. Yeah.
blood donor place. You could give blood for Stormblood.
Do you want to know what else happened? These marketing stunts are so weird and expensive and somewhat dumb. Call of Duty hired a bunch of World War II era planes to fly over the convention center.
Whoa.
Everyone's inside the convention center.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what happened. I only knew about it because I live near the convention center, and my wife texted me, and she was like, "There's these like really cool old planes flying over right now. I'm not sure why." And then I like the next day or some point, I like read the email that Activision had sent me, and I hadn't read yet. And I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was."
Oh my god.
But hold on, I don't think it's fair to lump that in with Square Enix like doing good
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
people to donate
Yeah.
blood, which is desperately needed at all times.
It is desperately needed, but it's also just a weird marketing play on words. Stormblood, blood drive. It's like, what can we do? Oh, let's have a, they would appreciate having a blood drive.
So there's another way to get the shirt that they were giving out. So you'd have to wait in that really, really long line to play the 14 thing. I mean, you had to actually win the 14 thing. You had to like beat the boss that they had there. So even if you waited in that long line and you lost, you didn't get the shirt. So if you went out and just donated blood, you got the shirt.
So
Guaranteed.
oh cool, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Oh, dude, it's like Ben with spiders, man. That freaks me out.
Oh,
Needles.
the needle
Ah.
dude? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. Yeah, Damiani, before you leave, do you got anything else?
Talked about Sonic.
Yeah.
I will mention this because did we talk about? We're not going to talk about this because I don't think any of us got to play it enough. I just want to briefly say we tried to do hands-on with the new Dissidia NT, the PS4 port of the arcade game. Brad and I went at it. We got to play together. It was teams of 3, so 3 players on one side, 3 players on the other side, and we clearly played against people who were had probably played the arcade version.
Brad said
before.
you guys played pros.
Like they were
Yeah.
doing advanced stuff,
Yeah.
and we were still trying to figure out the controls.
Yeah.
And it was over before we even knew what was to do. And then they're like, "Oh, you're done. Thanks for playing." You're like, "Okay." So rather than say negative things about we don't know how to play and stuff, just gonna say that's what happened.
Yeah.
So no impressions one way or the other.
I gotta do a hot take right now. Back
Give
up,
us a hot
Uber.
take.
Oh my god, you seriously startled me.
Dissidia.
Dude.
I'm gonna put a percentage bet that the HUD in Dissidia takes up
God.
60% of the screen. Like there is more HUD than not HUD.
I'll take that bet.
in Dissidia, literally, no. Every time I see it,
And it's gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful
No,
game,
that-
but
the
it's
HUD's
the,
not gorgeous.
The particle, the game is like the particle effects are so intense that I was locked onto a person. And I'm like, I lost him. I have no idea. What
that game needs to come with a HUD customization tool.
I've never been just so overwhelmed by HUD like that in my life. And I was horrible at the game, admittedly, and it looks like a lot of fun. I played Cecil. You can switch between Paladin, Dark Knight. It's good times.
I think it's a visually unappealing game. Even though it's
Right.
graphically impressive, the character designs are on point, but it's a visually unappealing game. Yeah. I lost.
You know what? I had a somewhat similar experience a couple years back. Was when Killer Instinct was on the show floor.
For Microsoft.
Yeah, but it wasn't actually at Microsoft's booth. It was at I don't know. It was probably Mad Catz or something.
Original developer was
Double Helix.
yes.
Yeah, but they had arcade sticks, and so it was, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember it now. We all went to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But the thing was, there were people who were camped out just playing Killer Instinct all day, every day for E3.
And they're not going to buy those Mad Cat sticks.
I don't know. But
it's-
the problem was any of us walk up and try to play the game,
Yeah,
they
Oh, you
did
get it on by
not
pros.
care
Yeah.
whether or not we had no idea what we were doing yet. They were just going to mow right through us.
Yeah.
Probably was going to be the same thing if you tried to play Marvel vs. Infinite. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I did play a Marvel versus Ben and had the exact same situation.
Yeah, Ben said he wrecked
He
you.
destroyed me. Yeah. Ben destroyed me.
Ben said Hero was a scrub. He picked Hulk and Chris Redfield, and I wrecked him.
This also happened in Dragon
Destroyed.
Ball.
I think what happened with Marvel is I was saying, oh, I got to play with Hubert, and then Kyle said, was he good? And I paused, and I didn't want to be mean. I was like, no.
Oh my
I
god.
didn't mean it like offensively.
I'm not good at it.
That's good. Good stuff.
Damiani, before you go though, I mean, like, what are your closing thoughts on E3 this year? We should have done it with Brad too.
Dear E3.
Yeah.
ESA, not E3. Dear ESA.
Okay.
Saw your press release. 68,000 plus attendees.
Great. They sent this
Unique.
press release
Unique.
in past tense
Yeah.
while the
the
show
shows.
floor was still going.
Yeah.
It was like noon, and they're like, E3 was a huge success, 64,000, and every sentence was past tense.
Wait, what?
The final day though has the vibe of like we're in bonus time. Like Thursday to me is always like the show's over. People are kind of doing last minute things. Like,
It's like box
There were-
office.
no,
Wednesday
there were-
is
Sunday.
yeah.
There
Wednesday
weren't
is
as
the
many
last day.
people crowding hallways,
Yeah.
but everywhere it was like, this queue is completely full. This line
course,
is
of
completely
course.
full. Nobody else can get in this line.
But there's still like a overtime vibe. You know?
All right, but we gotta let Damiani do his monologue.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yep.
Oh, I'll keep it short.
'Kay.
Basically, I saw that they're only going to do 3 days next year. They still have a chance to clarify what the format's going to be with those 3 days, but they're not adding a 4th day, and they might add a press-only day. Doubt they're going to do that. Looks like it's going to be status quo for next year. So, ESA, please, if you have time, change the format. Look at the 2 other biggest conventions on 2 other continents. Look at Tokyo Game Show. Look at Gamescom. Look how they do it. Please just try and copy their format. It works for them. They've been doing it. It helps out the press and journalists and people like us do our jobs better. It also makes it better for the public because then they're gonna have long lines, but they're not having to wait in line with us as well, which compounds the length of the line. Having both groups of people trying to wait there just makes it longer for everyone. If you're not going to do that, that's cool, fine, your show, you do what you want with it. Publishers, this is your chance to step up and I want to give shout outs to any publisher who had media only areas.
Yeah.
That lets you, if you had an appointment. So like Sony, Bandai Namco, were 2 specifically I saw. Nintendo also has their own thing, but like you only get that slot. You don't get to stay there for the whole time. But like
Right.
companies like Sony and Bandai Namco who let you have an appointment to see the game and then like just hang out there and spend as much time. There's still lines there, there's still people there to play, but please consider doing either.
Not everyone has that space though.
I think pretty much any of us that played Knack inside of Sony's area it's like the developers just sitting there waiting for somebody to come up and play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that area was not too busy. That was fun.
Please consider publishers doing media only areas of your booth, media only queues, or that nice 3rd floor area which has meeting rooms and stuff that you do for your private stuff. Set them up for press only. Like help out. If the ESA is not going to help out, you all can help out, and we will be very appreciative of that.
But here's the thing. There's the other way that I think publishers are going to help out. I think because most press have appointments, have stages where developers are coming to their stage, and all of that, I don't think the backlash is going to be as big from the press as it's going to be from the publishers and from other business people. Because if I'm a publisher, or if I'm an employee of a publisher, and I have an hour break and I just want to go see the show, I can't do anything.
Yeah. You
And-
cannot do a thing.
Yeah.
You can walk around.
You can walk
That's it.
around and you can look at the sides of the booths, and that's about it.
Yeah. At the same time, I think it was pretty cool having regular people wandering around. I thought that was pretty cool.
They, for the most part, they are not. That is not the problem. It's
Yeah.
not the fact the public needs to be at E3 to
Yeah.
help that show. Should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's just a little infuriating. Is the strongest way I'll put it. That there are other trade shows, big trade shows, that have tackled this problem.
Yeah.
And the ESA decided to just ignore that and try and maintain status quo with the structure and format of E3, which I think everyone was trying to tell them in advance, like, it's going to be kind of chaotic. Just hope you know that. And they send that press release out. Yeah, everything's good and stuff. Great. More numbers. Like, E3's not dying. Don't worry, everyone. It's like, that's cool. But I hope other people speak out about it and, like, say stuff about it, because it still needs to change more.
We did see I think we saw an impact on I mean, aside from the press areas like we saw, but I think we saw an impact on booth structure as well.
Oh yeah.
Like there are a lot more walled gardens. Like literally in 2K's case, they had bushes in front of an office building. I did not understand what that was.
That
was quite the booth.
Was like a hotel.
Damian, you can't leave on a negative note though. Leave us a positive note about E3.
Did not want to leave after playing Mario.
Yeah.
I was so sad.
yeah.
They were like, "We're sorry. It's time to put the controller down."
When my demo ended, I was depressed.
Yeah.
I had a like it was like a sad moment.
yeah,
It's like they took something away from you. It's bad.
it's not that long of a wait.
Yeah.
Because they don't. What's the thing? They don't put the timer up there. They just
Yeah.
like fade
Because
to
I
black.
got to the dungeon, dude. I got
Nice.
I got to the inverted dungeon, and the vibe like tonally shifts.
Yeah.
And it's like Bowser in the airship is at the top of this thing, so I'm in the dungeon ready to go. Bullet bills are coming. You see like fire, lava. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then it stopped. I was
Yeah.
like, no.
It ain't right.
I spent too much time in the shop.
I know, dude.
I was browsing the shop,
I know,
dude. I
man.
put the fedora, the Joe Pesci costume
Joe
on.
Pesci'd up.
It's like if I had just gone out right.
Yeah.
Running off into areas like Kyle,
Yeah.
into the distance.
Rough.
Mario.
But that's October 27th.
Yeah, it's
baby.
coming up.
Damiani, thanks for doing E3 with us. We couldn't pull this
Yeah.
off without you, man.
Thank you.
Like the work you put in on the tech end is so invaluable that we would be helpless without you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Unsung hero of E3 2017. Your easy allies.
I like how you phrased it at the beginning because you made it sound like I had a choice. Your
Yeah.
wording, it really did sound like you could have been somewhere else, Tommy. Thank you for choosing to be with me.
Thank you for choosing to be a part of Easy Allies.
That's true though. I mean,
Thank you for making us your first choice and destination for E3.
Thank you for flying the friendly sky.
All right.
cool.
Next up,
Skies of
you
Damian.
get the laptop.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in the backpack back there, I think.
Yeah, when are we
Well,
getting
it's
another?
no, it's the one that's hooked up to that.
To chat.
It's chat.
Damiani.
Oh, we're losing chat. Bummer.
Damiani.
But I mean,
No, that's fine. Take
most
it.
of us are gonna be on the desk pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'll put chat on my laptop.
Okay.
Damiani, when are we getting another Skies of Arcadia? What's the deal?
What? That's
come
not
on.
happening.
I mean, don't you want
It'll be
Shake
awesome,
Weight
but
first?
I want to do Spider-Man next.
Oh.
Okay, so Monster Hunter.
But
Yeah,
if
yeah. And
you're-
actually, Monster Hunter is hotly anticipated, so let's
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. And also, I need to do some research.
one of you two needs to switch the B-roll too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hunter,
Oh, you're doing it.
Monster Hunter, John.
Hunter, Hunter,
Monster Hunter World.
Hunter.
You know where the backpack actually is?
Backpack's right in front of here.
Yeah. There we go.
Monster
Right next door.
Hunter,
It's up to you
dude.
guys if you're okay with it. Yeah.
Sign
If you
me
want, feature request, if you want to do it
up.
when it's not live.
Hubert,
to join the
I am so
hunt.
glad you were there. I'm so glad you were there.
It's everything's muted, so you don't have to worry about doing anything with the video.
Monster Hunter presentation. Easily the best host.
Yeah, the host was great.
Easily.
Host?
By
Yeah, so-
far.
Are we doing this shit or are we waiting for them to...
I don't know. We're waiting.
We're
I'm
waiting,
just
we're
stalling.
waiting.
You can start talking.
I figured I could talk about the host.
Yeah, you can talk about
The
this.
host.
So they...
Extremely high energy.
He was commentating their playthrough.
Yes.
And
Yes.
just getting excited about everything. Just like, oh, nice hit. Haven't seen that combo before.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I took the time to shake the man's hand.
Yeah.
It was over.
Oh, like the second it was over, Hubert leads up. Great job.
Great job.
Yeah.
He was so good.
He was surprised. He was like, "Oh, thanks, man."
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Because he
awesome.
was working it, you know?
thankless job. I bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they can easily phone it in.
Right. No, he didn't phone it in.
He
Did
was
not phone it in at all.
He was passionate. Felt it.
Where'd Jones go?
I felt
right
like
there.
it was like inspiring to
It
you.
was. I was inspired
Yeah.
by this man.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I was
Nice.
seriously inspired.
Okay, this is coming. Make sure
Is your Coke, dude?
Oh, it's like there's
Yeah.
a sip left.
It's empty.
That's a warm. That's a warm sip left.
doing
This
it.
guy's actually empty.
We've gone through I think 26 Red Bulls
Yeah,
And-
you bought 20. I bought 6.
and a close amount of Coke.
Yeah.
How's the fruit snacks look?
Like maybe around 20. How are the fruit
There's
snacks?
still quite a few back
Oh
there.
man, before I
Nice.
leave, I'm getting some fruit snacks.
Before I leave.
Fruit
Before I
snacks.
leave, I'm getting some fruit snacks.
Before I go, I just want to get some fruit snacks from you. Okay.
Are we ready? Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter
Colon.
World or Worlds?
World.
Monster Hunter
Singular.
colon world.
Okay.
World.
Before we get started talking about the game itself, I just want to say it was so great having Huber there with me to watch it, because things would happen and he would just look at me and be like,
Like, what am I seeing right now?
Yeah.
A
yeah.
lot of moments.
Um,
Good moments.
and so I had some reservations about this, the ways that they are streamlining it, taking the Monster Hunter out of Monster Hunter. But a lot of those fears were alleviated. This is a very different game, but I think they made a strong case for the differences that are there. It's not.
Like, I don't understand. Like, because I've seen the 3DS
Right.
one. To me, it looked exactly the same as someone who knows nothing about Monster
Okay,
Hunter. He's
so-
hunting it in the wild.
Yeah, a lot of things are very different. We should
Okay.
start at the very beginning of the demo,
Yes.
because in previous Monster Hunter games, you'd be hunting a monster, you didn't necessarily know where it was, and so you'd go from zone to zone looking for it, trying to figure it out. And in Monster Hunter World, you have this new system called Scout Flies, and what they'll do is you'll be going and you'll see a track from the monster, and you go, oh, okay. And when you uncover that track, you will level up your Scout Flies, and you'll keep going and you'll keep finding clues. It's sort of like, in a way, Detective Vision in Batman, where things are highlighted for you and then you go and you investigate them. And it's specific to the monster as well. So the monster that we were hunting here is this giant Tyrannosaurus Rex called Agoneth. And what Agoneth did...
Is this flying?
Yeah.
Yes, it's that. It's
Great.
yes. And Agoneth has mucus that he uses, sort of damaging mucus to protect his territory. And so they went up and they scraped some of that mucus off a tree, and that leveled up the Scout Flies. And then once,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Kyle, you would have loved this demo.
That's heavy
Little
content.
bloodhounds.
Yeah.
Kyle,
And
blown away by this.
yeah, it was cool because essentially what you're doing is you're just running around trying to find this monster, and it's I think it's much better than just going from zone to zone, because you get a sense of, oh, okay, this is an attribute of this creature. Which is really cool. Another thing, just a very small touch, when you pull out your map, you actually have a notebook that you pull out and you look at, which I think is
kind of
cool.
like Metro, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Metro, exactly. Go ahead.
So you mentioned before zone to zone.
Yeah.
They've kind of got rid of zones, or no?
No, they have. They've gotten rid of zones. There are different like maps essentially that you can go to, but it's not like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. So when you're in this area, let's say you're in the jungle area, there might be a desert area, and that it's not a seamlessly connected world.
Right.
But when you go to the map itself, there are no zones. There's no loading in between that at all. It's all interconnected, which is great. And yeah, so once you level up your Scout Flies, you find the monster. And as we're going along, we find a monster not related to the hunt.
Dude.
And this is where the demo starts getting insane.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have the name of the monster that we found. So there's a great Jagras that you find. And you're going along, and it just comes into the scene very suddenly, and it eats another smaller monster. It just starts gobbling it up.
Gulping it down.
Yes.
What does it look like? What's a Jagras?
So a Jagras is a reptilian, very big.
Like
but it's-
Komodo dragon, like a bigger.
Okay.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it's a bright, like neon yellow color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And when it eats it, its stomach is distended. You can see it's so before it was sleek, now it's kind of like an orb walking around, digesting the creature that it just took in. And that's when they started explaining what I thought was the most interesting part of the demo, is sort of this food chain dynamic that is present in Monster Hunter World, where other monsters will be a constant threat and they're always looking for food, or if you come into a territory that they're trying to protect, they will attack you or anything else that comes into that territory.
They kept throwing around the word ecosystem.
Right.
You know, these creatures live in this world and they go about their life according to the set of the rules of nature, if you will. So the big Komodo dragon thing, it has this giant belly full of food, and it goes and spits it out, and all the little ones come.
Right. Yeah, so that was
was,
actually
like,
a little bit
feeding
later.
it.
That's an
yes,
ecosystem.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah. So it
What did
went
it look like
back.
after it sped out?
Then it like shrunk back down.
No, the creature that, like the blob that was spat out. Did
Oh, it was
look-
just covered in saliva.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it
yeah.
did look different. It didn't look like it just walked.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yes, exactly. And yeah, all of its like kin basically just consuming it. And when you actually fight the Agoneth, they were around. Those sort of regular Jagras were climbing up the trees and stuff because they knew that they didn't stand a chance in this fight, and so they kind of retreated and scattered. It was like, it was really cool. But you were asking how Monster Hunter World is very, very, very different, and there are two things that I want to highlight. So before, when you were gathering materials, let's say you were gathering herbs, or you were like picking up just materials that were on the ground, you would be like, let's say you were investigating bones, you'd go and you'd look and you kind of dig, and there was a long animation that would play out. Here, he was just running through and hitting a button, and it's like, you got this, you got this, you got this. There was no extra animation to get any of this stuff whatsoever.
I loved this because we had a hardcore Monster Hunter like fanatic in our presentation.
Yeah.
So when he runs by and like picks something up, the guy is just like, "He didn't stop!"
Yep. You don't stop.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, "Oh, it was awesome."
Yeah, he was running through these trees basically, and it was just bam, bam, bam. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this.
He
Did
yells
not
it
stop
out.
for anything. Yeah, and then on top of that, now when you're eating, basically when you're using items, when you're eating steak or when you're using a potion, before so steak recovers your stamina and then potions recover your health. You don't have to stop to do that. You can move while doing those things. There's still an animation present, but before you would come to a complete stop. And you do this very long animation. Like when you would drink a potion in other Monster Hunter games, you'd have a drinking animation, and then you'd do a flex. That flex is completely gone, and the drinking animation is pretty quick in Monster Hunter World. So those are dramatic differences. And at first, when I first saw him running by and not stopping to pick anything up, I was sort of taken aback. I just wasn't sure what to think about
Because
it.
you like those things. You like that they would flex after they drink something. That's cute.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It was just so characteristic of the game, to the point where it felt alien not having it in there. But the more that I thought about it, and the more that I watched the game, it makes sense. And here's why it makes sense: because there's a lot more going on in Monster Hunter World. You have destructible environments, which we'll get into. You have a lot more monsters, big monsters that are actually a threat to you at once. And I think because they're changing the game so dramatically, because there are so many more things that are a threat to you at any given time, it makes a little bit of sense. And the other thing is, because there are no zones, a common tactic would be to leave a zone
Right.
and then go and heal.
Yeah.
And that was kind of something that you would need to figure out. That's something somebody would tell you, like, oh, hey, you need to go heal. Why don't you retreat and then come back? But that's gone now. And so I think what I'm trying to say is, in the demo, it felt like you were at a lot more, you were at a risk more constantly. And because of that, it would make sense to reevaluate those things.
That's cool.
Yeah. Next. Oh, the destructible environments. Let's talk about this, because this was really cool. So when you run into the Agoneth, he goes on a rampage. He'll be jumping off of things, and because of his weight, he would like crush a ledge that you could use to like jump and getting a mounting attack. If he runs into that opportunity is gone from you. And so that was really neat. But the destructible environments also open up opportunities. So the person that was demoing Monster Hunter World, they would lead the Agoneth to the wall, purposely. He would butt his into it. It would crash. There would be flash flies in there. And what the flash flies do is he would pick them up and then he'd use them and they emit a bright thing of light and it would blind the Agonist.
Oh, okay.
And so
Solar flare.
Cool.
it's, I don't know
Way cool.
how extensive it is in the full game, but the idea of being like, wait, why don't I manipulate this creature to see what secrets I can find? Like, maybe there's going to be valuable materials in those destructible environments that you're going to want to use the
there?
monster. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I only saw the flash fly example.
Okay.
But another thing that happened is he was knocking over trees. And one of the trees that he knocked over, there was like this pile of, I think it was vines.
Like vines.
Yeah. And what he could do is because he knocked over this tree, there was this new pile of vines, there was this new hazard. And so when he led the Agonith over there, it got caught up in the vines and was temporarily immobilized. And how many things you have to consider. There's so many. There are way more tools now because the environment is actually a bigger part of the game, and that's what, in a way, that's kind of what Monster Hunter is. It's not just going up and hitting a monster a bunch. I mean, you can definitely do that, but you're going to be more effective if you're setting up traps, if you're thinking about where it's best to fight a creature. And that element, that very core component of Monster Hunter, has just been greatly expanded in world in a really, really cool way.
Are you talking about the falling rocks?
No, we haven't talked about it. You want to take that?
Yeah, there's more on the environment. He sets a trap. It's like an electric stun trap. And there were like rocks above it, and he shot the rocks down. And the rocks came tumbling down on the creature. Did a bunch of damage.
And I think not splitting it up into particular zones changes this part so much.
Yeah.
Because
You get chased.
Yes,
Right.
because he went into the cave first, and the creature was there, and it was claustrophobic. He's like, I can't fight it here. I got to take it outside. Like, let's step outside.
But I think even
and he lured it out.
I think it would get chased in the other ones too. I remember like having like an egg and having to like run through zones.
Right.
But like just having it being one coherent one zone, I think changes that element so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just like it's like an unnecessary thing. There was no reason to keep that other than those prior limitations to having to be on a Vita or something or PSP even. I don't know why they were in zones, really. 3DS games, yeah.
So, something that hasn't been in Monster Hunter before, so monsters still don't have a health bar that they show, but there are now damage numbers when you hit monsters. And
Okay.
yeah. I don't know how I feel about this either, Kyle.
Because Ben, I'll tell you what I know of Monster Hunter, of the appeal.
Yes.
It's ridiculously good animations for your character,
Yes.
where your attacks matter and they're very articulated. Deliberate, thank you. And ridiculously good animations for the creatures.
Right.
And that their attacks you can see coming, and that each individual creature has enough ways of moving that they actually feel like an individual creature, and that so much care is put into that,
Right.
that you care about this beast that you're battling against.
Yeah, and not just that, the animations also give you a great idea of the state the monster is in.
Right.
So when
So you wouldn't need numbers every
Right. When the monster is injured, it'll limp away. When it is angry, it will have a different effect. Like maybe there'll be puffs of flame coming out of its
The designer
mouth.
confirmed you can toggle the damage numbers.
Yes, you can toggle the damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna get there, but yes, you can toggle the damage numbers.
Chat
off.
loves
That's true.
corrections. You can't stop them.
But again, it's the thing where you have that sort of immediate reaction. And I think there's going to be a lot of that for people that are very familiar with Monster Hunter. Is there's going to be that immediate reaction, but then the more that you see it, you kind of think, okay, this isn't really changing anything in a negative way, because you still have the animation where it limps away. It's still like, no, the monster is going to recuperate. That's still a part of this process. I need to go track it down to whatever nest it's going to and damage it. But it's also, I think it also honestly gives them some more creative liberties in a way, because every monster you will be able to damage it more effectively at specific points. It has weaker points than others. With damage numbers, and I think making that information a little bit more clear, you can kind of, I think, go nuts with the points that you damage on these monsters and how they change over the course of the battle, just because you're making that little bit of information more clear, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You still seem hesitant.
No, you can turn it off.
You can turn it off.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Huber, what did you think about the slinger, the grappling hook?
All right.
Slinger was fantastic.
So this isn't a weapon. Everybody's got a slinger.
Everybody's got a slinger.
Yeah, love it because, you're not super fast in this game. You move at a pretty normal pace. There is a sprint, but again, even sprint is not insanely fast. So I enjoyed that the grappling hook kind of speeds things up, but not in a drastic and overly. It doesn't take over the game.
Is it like Lost Planet?
No.
What's it like?
So it's kind of like you would expect from Monster Hunter. The reason why I like it so much is, one, you can only hook at very specific points. So you can't grapple onto every single ledge or every single tree.
You're not like swinging around.
So
It's just once in a while you get that little extra bit of distance.
Yeah,
So it's like Metroid.
Yeah, but it's a very deliberate animation. And so there's definitely a window of time where you are shooting your slinger up at the specific point where you can get attacked. And so it leaves you vulnerable, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But the advantages of pulling it off successfully is it makes it really easy to mount monsters. Because you don't have to get on a ledge and then jump and then attack the monster. You just zip right up above them and go down. And that's really cool.
Is that going to take away from the glory of mounting these beasts? Because isn't that like such a rewarding part of the older Monster Hunters?
I mean, it kind of depends on how much they move around. If they're really active, you're going to have a hard time finding that opportunity no matter what.
So this is a new thing with the mounting. In previous Monster Hunter games, when you mounted a creature, a specific gauge would come up, and when the gauge was basically green, it was representing the monster's temperament. You would mash the attack button to basically get them in a knocked down state, and then when the face turned red, it means they were trying to throw you off, and you hit the shoulder button to try to brace on. That's still present here. There was still a prompt. It like hit R2 to brace, but a new thing with the mounting and why I don't think it will take away from the glory is you can actually move around the creature, because what it's trying to do, what the Agonith was trying to do, is like the developer that was playing was on the side of the Agonith's face, and so it smashed that face into a tree. And if he would have been on the other side, that wouldn't have happened to him. And so moving around and responding to how the creature's trying to throw you off is a really, really cool addition, I think.
How do I stay clenched to the creature?
So you're just moving, you'll be clenched onto the creature like by default once you've mounted, but when the prompt comes up to brace, you need to hit it.
Okay.
If you don't, you'll fall off, or if he like runs you into something, you'll fall off as well. But like before, basically you attack it until you knock it down, and then you can get some free hits in while it's on the ground. Yeah. One thing that I really like that I think is just a super smart streamlining thing. So before in Monster Hunter, the way that you would select items is you would just kind of cycle through with the D-pad. Now there's a radio menu. And it's just super, super quick. You open it up, you're like, okay, I want the potion, I want the barrel bomb or whatever. And that's great.
Did you have to hold a button to pull that up, or?
Yeah, I don't know which button he hit specifically, but yeah, he held a button.
No, there was I forget what game it was. Some game I saw today. They were saying, I guess because they didn't really use the right stick for anything else. The radio menu was just the right stick. Like you didn't have to hold a button first. It's like, just hold up on the thing, and it'll pop up, and then you could cycle to whatever you wanted.
So Ben,
what's
one of my favorite things of all time?
There's so many.
There's actually
honestly,
so many.
you have 50 favorite things of all time. Uneasy Alliance.
Wait a minute.
Shotguns.
Monsters fighting each other.
Third parties.
Ooh, third party is top 10.
Yes.
Third party's top 10 for
Monsters,
sure.
Yeah. Monsters fighting each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did this demo end, baby?
Yes. This
Again,
this
it's
is
Jurassic
so cool.
Park.
So he deliberately led the Agonith to a Rathalos nest, and the Rathalos is
It's like a
basically-
famous Monster Hunter
yes,
creature, right?
it is the classic monster from Monster Hunter. It's basically this dragon creature flying in. It says, "You're in my nest. I feel under threat," and so they started fighting. But what I loved is it didn't feel like the Rathalos was just doing canned attacks. It didn't feel like it was treating the Agonith like it would treat you, the hunter. It just comes in, swoops in, grabs this giant T-Rex and carries him off and drops him on the ground and
Carried
then
him away.
breathes a stream of fire on its writhing body.
Wow.
It was cool.
And
it
then
was
did you jump down to like pick up the
Right,
dead?
right, and he took advantage of this. He's like,
Yeah.
"No, this is what you want to do."
that's so
the
cool.
Rathalos perceives the Agonith as a bigger threat
Yeah.
than you,
Of course, and it is.
right, and it
Yeah.
is, and so he used that distraction just to get a ton of damage on the Agonith, and yeah, it was so cool seeing these creatures fight each other like you would imagine they actually would. It was very
I
convincing.
So is
wonder.
that-
I wonder if it works the other way, too. Like if you're trying to take down the
Rathalos?
Rathalos, to where it's distracted by this thing that you've lured into its nest.
Right. Yeah, it would be the same thing,
Yeah.
but the because of this food change system that is in place, and because the Rathalos is a higher tier, the
Okay.
implication is that the Agonith would never be a threat to the Rathalos, but it could serve as a distraction.
Is the Rathalos the number one in all the other Monster Hunter games?
The-
is there
no.
anything above it?
Oh yes, there's many
many,
things
okay,
above
okay.
it.
It's like the Pikachu, though.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'd say the cats are the Pikachu.
So it's the
The- yes,
it's the face.
and okay, so in
the face.
in-
Yeah.
the face.
in more recent Monster Hunter games, you can play as the Phalines. You can in Prowler mode, and you can't do that here. You cannot play as them, but there are still Palicos.
Great.
And so basically, you can still have a little Palico cat buddy come along with you. and-
Palico.
Yeah, they're called Palicos. Yeah, and they'll come and they'll hunt with you. And real quick, another big thing is you can fast travel back to camp, I believe, at any point. So that's a big deal, but you can also change equipment for both you and your Palico at camp. And that means switching weapons as well. So if you get into a fight and you're like, no, I'm using the wrong thing, I want to use something else, that's very easy to switch out.
And then
that's
you
a big
can
deal.
come back in.
You
at
can
the
come
same
back in.
point you
Yep,
left.
Yep.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yep, you don't have to leave the quest that you're on at all. And I wish I could show it to you guys because you're sitting in camp with your Palico, and I've never seen a Palico this detailed. He's just sitting there. I think I might be getting this wrong, but I believe he's just sitting on a log. And he's just smiling, and you're changing his armor, and you're seeing it change, and you're just like, Palico, little buddy, you look so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I got a last question about
Yes,
this actually.
yes, please.
So, actually, the biggest barrier for me to enjoying Monster Hunter
yeah.
is progression and context.
Mm-hmm.
In multiplayer.
Multiplayer is not. You could solo it, I think. Right? You could.
What's that?
You could solo Monster Hunter, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not like an RPG where I feel like my character has a story and I'm progressing through it. It kind of, the impression I get is just the game is about fighting bigger and bigger monsters.
Yes. There is context for your hunts. There's a reason you're going out.
You're a
are
researcher, right?
Yeah. Yes, basically, your help. It depends on the game, and some games do it better than others. I like the way the story is presented in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate more than some of the other Monster Hunter games, for example. And I think they do a pretty decent job in Try as well. But even saying that, even they do a pretty decent job, they do a pretty decent job for Monster Hunter. The context for your hunts is very light. The reason that you're doing this is to get bigger, better weapons, bigger, better armor. That is the real reason. But I love that progression, and I think it still has so much value today because I play so many games, and Huber, you can back me up on this, where you're fighting something. You're fighting this big important creature, or like evil doer, and it drops just like, oh, here's a generic assault rifle that is not tied to this character at all. It has no significance to you or to this person specifically. But in Monster Hunter, when you're killing these beasts, you are wearing their skin, basically. You
Yeah.
are dressed up in how they look, and it's so satisfying to struggle against something for a very long time and then put it on and have it look fantastic.
And your weapon too.
Yeah, and your weapon.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just it's a point of pride, I think. And for me, Monster Hunter, the thing that kept me going was the learning. Really, that was it. And having questions and asking people that you'd be hunting with, that was the most satisfying part for me.
Kyle, I completely agree with you on that being the biggest barrier for me with other Monster Hunter games, because I would come in late or I would primarily play it solo if I were to jump into it. Of course I would have Ben, but like, I wouldn't take the time to play a Monster Hunter game solo.
Yeah.
This game, I am so excited to just team up and co-op and not care about the story, not care about the context or anything. Just like, yo, you guys want to kill a beast tonight?
Hunt.
Like, you want to hunt tonight?
Yeah.
We should have a weekly hunt.
Hubert,
I'm serious.
That's a mean thing to propose to Ben if you don't mean it.
look me in the eye.
I
Look me in the-
100%.
stare at me.
100%. This is the Monster Hunter game I have been waiting to dive into. This is the one.
Hubert,
I'm
if
so on
this
board.
doesn't happen, like,
It's on record. It's
there
on
has to
tape.
be some sort of punishment.
Check the tape.
the
This
tape.
is the tape.
Draft your tweets.
Draft your
Oh my
tweets.
gosh.
So there's just a couple of small other things. You can still cut off tails of monsters. So he cut off the Agonist's tail in the demo, and that's cool. Basically, like, depending on if you just kill a monster or if you trap it or if you cut off its tail, you'll have a chance at getting different materials, which goes into crafting your gear as well. So it's cool. That's always been a cool feature of Monster Hunter. It's neat to see it back. There is one thing that I really didn't like a lot, and so you have this character, a voice character called a handler, and it's this woman who just.
Wait, she's like talking to you over a radio kind
She's
of
like
thing?
talking to you over a radio. I don't know if it was a radio exactly. I think you saw a radio-like thing in the trailer, so that would make some
Codec.
sort of sense. But
Seashell Codec.
she's constantly saying like, "Oh, hey, this is what your scout flies do. Oh, hey, your health is low. Heal." And like, I guess if this was a beginning mission,
It's
and
probably
it was,
the first mission.
I understand,
yeah.
and but explaining the mechanics of the game makes sense. It just personally annoys me when it's like, "Hey, your health is low, heal." To me, like, having a person scream that at you when it's so obvious, when you have this giant health bar that's low
Flashing
and
red.
this enormous creature in your face, that to me felt like streamlining that is unnecessary. If you're
Yeah.
taking all of these other steps, I don't think you need someone chirping in your ear. I don't know if you can turn that off or not, and I don't know how it will be implemented in the full game. I don't know if it's just a lot early on, but she was talking pretty regularly, I would say. And yeah,
I was just listening to the host, honestly.
Sure.
Man. I didn't hear a word she said. The host had me in the palm of his hand.
It's cool that game exists though. Did not exist
Yeah.
a week ago,
Yeah.
and now it does.
It does, and it's very different. There are a lot of changes, but it was still exciting to see. Like, I felt the fear that I feel with Monster Hunter, and it's I don't get it with any other game, where the creature comes in for the first time and you've never seen it before, and you think to yourself, I don't know if I can take this down. Like the Agonith, which again, paled in comparison to the Rathalos, when I saw both of those creatures, and especially when I saw them interacting with each other, it's like, I am just a meager human. And that's what you want. That's the most important thing, is that those creatures feel threatening and powerful.
Ben, what's one of my favorite things of all time?
Okay, this could be many things. Feeling the kill.
Close. You're so close.
Okay.
Consequences?
Meaningful kills.
Okay.
Oh, that was like the same
Yeah.
thing. You gotta give that to him.
man.
Okay.
Feeling it though, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's very close. When I say feel the kill, I mainly am thinking of like shotgun.
So
kills.
those are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
Put that in the book, in the
Yeah.
Huber book.
Yeah.
Meaningful kills and feel the kill are
Yeah.
two different
They are.
chapters.
They
Not just two different things, but two of his favorite things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't get more meaningful than that.
This was like
you don't get more meaningful than that.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a 30-minute fight
Yeah.
for one creature.
Yeah.
So it's 30 minutes.
That's the game. That's what that game is.
Yeah, it was so long.
That's great.
I don't want
kept
to.
like retreating and going different areas. The tail cut off. Like when it cut off the tail, I was like, all right, that's like, this thing's dead.
Yeah.
That was like phase 1
No,
of
the
5.
fight was just. I mean, he was obviously taking some time to do specific things for the demo, so it would probably go much quicker in the thing. But it was that drawn out, multi-area, multifaceted fight that you would hope for. There's one last thing I want to wrap up on, kind of a negative note.
Oh.
And I want to do a more involved talk about it later. But I'm really disappointed that how they've handled the Monster Hunter Double Cross localization.
Why would you end
situation.
on that note?
You don't.
Why
you
would
don't
you do that?
You don't want me to do it? Is it inappropriate?
Because we were just, we did a nice little report on Monster Hunter World.
We did.
But
Maybe
you're
this
right. No,
isn't-
it's the reality we live in, Ben.
Yeah,
That's like, come on, what are you doing?
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
it is. That's the summation of my feelings. It's come on, what are you doing? Because you have this game that is meant to increase the size of your fans, specifically in the West.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of people that are open to it. But you also have people that have been clamoring for a Monster Hunter game on the Switch since the system was launched.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense. And then you announce it for Japan, and you see the enthusiasm for that from hardcore Monster Hunter fans in the West. And also, this is a game where so much of Generations is in it, which is a game that did come out over here.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand why when, like, if you're a longtime fan and you're hesitant about Monster Hunter World, that hesitation goes down if Monster Hunter Double Cross is available to you. It makes you feel like, okay, I'm not sure about this new style, but they're still showing a sign of support that I will get this game that I've wanted for a long time, that we didn't get on 3DS, we're going to get it on the Switch. And I think disrespectful is too strong of a word, but it seems to be unaware of what that audience wants, and I think that is an audience that would most readily support you and readily evangelize what makes Monster Hunter so great in the first place. And it seems like you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I think that's a mistake.
It's just nothing to be aloof about.
Right.
You need something better to say than we're not thinking about it right now.
Right.
You need to explain why, and they're not.
They're not. They're not saying why.
Yeah.
Can we still get it one day?
I mean, region free, baby.
okay.
Well,
But do you think it'll come eventually?
I do.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think they just don't want it to overlap with this announcement of Monster Hunter World. I think
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
being weird about it.
Okay.
And keep in mind, Monster Hunter Stories for the 3DS is still coming out.
And this
later
one I'm
That's
pumped on
true,
because it has
yeah,
a
yeah.
story.
Yes. I mean, depending on why the reason why they haven't announced it so far, this might not be true, but maybe they'll do something like a direct where they're like, hey, we have a Monster Hunter focused direct, and they've already announced Monster Hunter Stories, and in that direct they announced the localization for Double Cross. So yeah, it could still happen.
Yeah.
But I just think the way that they're approaching it right now is wrong.
Stay tuned for the weekly hunt.
Hubert,
And this is happening.
please.
It's not happening.
I'm scared.
committing to that so early.
Please.
Jones,
Why
why are
would
you
this not happen?
Jones, why are you typing so much?
Why would it not happen?
This isn't Jones's AMA. It's like Ben time, man.
To be fair, I was talking a lot to chat, so I set a precedent.
Oh, okay. All
so
right.
I
Oh,
I
goodness.
did
It's
that
like every
first.
3 seconds I hear.
Yeah, I was definitely doing that.
It's like Jones typing out like 5 sentences every time.
Should I type slow for you, Kyle?
No, I mean you should
Should I
like
moderate my typing speed?
you should make sure the
Am I too
intent
skilled of a typer for you to handle right now?
like Ben's speaking and I feel like you're drawing attention away.
It's all right. I got to talk about Monster Hunter World, and now I get to go home. So
Is that it? That was the
That's
last.
it.
Is it
That's it.
2018?
2018, early
Yeah.
2018.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Early 2018. Yeah.
Cool.
Nothing more specific about it. That
2018.
coming to Xbox One and PS4 first, and then sometime
Wait,
later
so-
coming to PC.
So if you're like way far ahead in Monster Hunter Worlds, can we still party up? Is there like a level gap?
Oh goodness, that's
If you're,
probably
like,
not
level
going to be answered
40.
yet.
Well, yeah. So in previous Monster Hunter games, there's no levels. It's just differences in gear.
Okay.
But I could still do lower level hunts than you, and I could equip lower level gear that would make it so we're on more even footing. So
Cool.
that wouldn't be a big deal. Yeah.
Closing thoughts on E3, Ben.
Closing thoughts on E3. I know people are bummed out by the lack of big surprises and that we didn't have like a Final Fantasy VII remake, for example. Maybe nothing quite on that scale, but for me personally, this year was even better than last year for 3 very specific reasons. Monster Hunter World exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's this exciting new thing that I cannot wait to play. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out in 2017. And I didn't believe it was going to happen. And it's coming right after I finished Xenoblade Chronicles. And that is my favorite stream that I've ever done, because it was just a game where I was like, oh, people say it's a great RPG. I need something to stream. Why don't I do it? And then I ended up just adoring it. There's so much that game does right. I want to talk about that game. I want to dig into that game. I want to show people why it's so special. And then seeing that trailer at the showcase, being a little bit worried, and then watching the 40-minute Treehouse presentation, being like, no, this is it.
Yeah.
This is
I still have to watch that whole
sequel.
thing. I just saw snippets of it, but just seeing like some of those familiar enemies, like
Yeah.
just really fully animating
Yes.
and everything. It's like, yeah, such a huge step up.
Yeah, and there are bigger Mario fans in Easy Allies, but that Mario Odyssey trailer made me so happy.
Yeah.
So happy. And
Swish.
Swish.
it was a swish. And all those things. I mean, you can sit and say all day about, like, this game wasn't there, that game wasn't there. But I think, for me personally, when I take a step back and what I wanted, I got so much.
Yeah.
I'm
And it's
grateful.
perspective. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be Final Fantasy VII remake every year. There's
Right.
only so many of those games.
And it's an incredible thing to me. Those 3 things that were my I'm wrong. I am wrong.
There
It
might
is-
be 4
it
or
is
5.
Clearly, it is clearly 1:00. Dragon Ball Fighters exists.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That to me, like, yes, Final Fantasy
Yes.
VII remake, great. Dragon Ball Fighters,
Yep.
that game existing.
And it's like, that's like such a good E3 moment to
Yes.
me. It's like what E3 is all about.
Whoa.
Announced early, we got some screenshots, trailer in the Microsoft press conference, and then enthusiasm on the show floor.
Yes.
From even the fighting game community going in and embracing that
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's really exciting.
Okay, I saw Maximilian post a picture. You know how they, at the demo stations, they post Best of E3 awards?
Yeah.
The Dragon Ball Fighters booth, when Maximilian took this picture, was just absolutely plastered.
Yeah.
And you take a look at that picture, you take a step back, and you say, at E3, everybody is giving a Best of E3 of the entire show to a Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the world we live in right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So no, it was a good E3 for me, and yeah, just getting to talk with you guys and be goofy and be fun. It's always a good time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ben will be back.
I'll be back. I'm doing more impressions. I got a lot to talk about. A lot of things that I still care very much about. Etrian Odyssey 5 being a big one. East 8, reading Historia, Perfect Chronology, some stuff.
that
Total
gonna be a
War,
stream, by the
Warhammer
way?
2. What's that?
Is that going to be a stream when you do those bonus impressions?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think so.
So
Cool. Weekend stream.
Yeah.
yeah, more
Cool.
stuff coming.
Saturday afternoon.
Cool.
All right. I'm gonna get Jones up off this desk. He can be berated by Kyle at close range.
Let me just say goodbye to chat real quick.
I know you're going to. Say bye, shot.
All right, Ben.
Bye, guys.
Here now. I'll see you on screen in just a second. There, buddy.
Mercer Trout.
I love you, Ben.
Careful driving.
Yeah, have a good drive home, Ben.
No one's gonna be at the controls. We're gonna be flying blind.
Yeah, we're gonna be flying.
Well,
by.
I think what we can do. I mean, at least for the. I'm only gonna do a couple tonight, but for the when I have the couple, like Cal can just pop the video on and then come back over. But I don't know where we want to go
Well,
next.
actually, let's talk about what we got left. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
I think the 4 of us can speak to Spider-Man, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I would like to do a little cannonball run. I have, I think, 8 to 10 games that I can do really, really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just a little marathon sesh. What do you got left, Huber?
I've got one that could be like 6 minutes and 2 that are very, very fast.
Cool.
2 or 3 that are fast.
A little cannonball run.
Yeah.
Jones, what you got left?
I have a stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And blood
Dying.
That's why we're doing. Yeah.
Dying to talk about Sea of Thieves. Dying to
So
talk
we'll do
about
Sea of
that
Thieves
game.
tonight. I've
Yeah.
heard anticipation for you doing Sea of Thieves, so we'll do that tonight.
So, Do you guys anticipate ending at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m.?
Damiani's going live.
We
at
gotta
2.
end at 2. He's shutting us down at 2. Like
He's shutting us down.
He can't shut us down.
He can't
but-
shut us down though.
It's
But
still
we are picking it back up. We will.
Yeah.
We will be
Yeah,
doing
we're
more
gonna go.
questions
We're gonna
later
be fast with
All right.
these.
Yeah.
Well, if we're ending at 2, I'll just man this. So.
nice.
Oh man.
Nice.
Ben, by the way, has a super long drive.
Ben, yeah, I just think that you should
I think
just
Ben has the
go,
longest
Ben-
drive.
go on back.
Ben, you type as loud as you want. All right.
Oh goodness.
So Spider-Man,
Yeah.
real quick.
For-
I mean, I've
it's-
said my piece.
It's not real quick.
No. The first thing I want to say
Yeah.
is we may have been a little negative on this game. One, because it was the finale. There's expectations of the finale for a Sony press conference. And yeah, I just want to say that my initial reaction was
The gut reaction.
was a gut reaction of disappointment for all the games that were not shown rather than rather than
I'm just-
Spider-Man.
I'm
Spider-Man looks
I'm surprised that
incredible.
you guys have so much more you want to say.
Oh yeah. So I guess.
I've definitely got some because I know. Well, it was funny because I don't know. Did you guys have like a Q&A at the end of yours for people asking a bunch of questions?
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff?
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is why. This is when you say I'm surprised you want to talk about it.
it's the
because
stuff that they were talking about then.
I think it was a bad demo to end their E3 press conference with. I think that it didn't blow everyone. Well, actually, no, that's not true because there's like 10 million views on YouTube. Like it did blow everybody away. And so I think, Huber, I think we look at E3 in a different way than
Yeah.
like an average person does.
Yeah.
An average person was like, whoa.
If this was just in the middle, like
Yeah.
sneaky
Yeah.
middle
Yeah.
game, we
But,
would have
like,
been like, wow.
Last
Yeah.
of Us Part 2 levels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. But really, kind of like Jones, I think that Q&A is the reason why I'm most excited about the
Right.
game. The learning more about the game, and then the realization that this is a video game. This is something we're gonna get to play someday. Everything is so encouraging about this.
Yeah. Well, we kind of touched on this before, but one of the things they said sort of right off the bat, and then we tried to get elaboration on, didn't get any. They said that look, he's struggling to keep a balance between being Spider-Man and his personal life.
He wouldn't get into it. But we were like, "Are you gonna play as Peter Parker?" And he was like,
Yeah, well, yeah.
"Peter Parker will be important to this game."
So the answer
We're
is
like,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
The
like,
answer you take
we,
away-
we,
You can't have
we
this game
literally
without
gotta
Peter
like,
Parker.
we're not talking about that right now
Yeah.
kind of response.
And at the end of the day, that was something that did bum me out. That I was surprised that Rocksteady didn't go there with Arkham. That like we did get like 5 seconds as Bruce.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I would have loved like a party at Wayne Manor where you're
Totally.
stuck in as Bruce.
Yes.
And you gotta like talk to Nightwing, talk to other people, like see what they're doing outside.
Jones.
Yeah, John.
You know.
Yeah, and
Yes.
to add on to that, when he was talking about how he was able to, by the way, when we say he, again, Brian Intihar, creative director, used to be at EGM, used to do the One Up show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, I loved One Up show.
I didn't know
Show,
that.
Yeah.
baby. That's in the biz.
It's- It's so cool actually to see that old team and how like the influential they are now. I love it. I love it so much. Anyway, so when he was talking about how he's able to pluck the villains he wanted, because I think a lot of us were working under the assumption it was going to be Mr. Negative the whole game, because all the villains they showed in the reveal trailer, all the villains they showed there were Mr. Negative Goonies. And so people kind of assume, he must be the big bad guy of this game. Not the case. This game's going to have a lot of villains. But what he said about the villains that he likes about Spider-Man is that he's got relationships with his villains.
Yeah.
Peter Parker does. Peter Parker had a relationship with Mr. Negative, and he does canonically with a lot of the other villains.
Yeah, well,
So
what
when
is
you-
it like?
yeah.
Aunt May
Yeah.
is like
Works at the
participates-
shelters, the guy
Yeah,
owns.
yeah.
So when you see him and he looks in the helicopter and he's like, "Whoa, I know him." That's
Yeah.
like Peter talking.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man hasn't faced him or something. Like that's like he's it kind of like escapes him actually. He almost
Yeah.
kind of like lets his identity slip a little
Yeah.
bit.
So I think it's easy to have the
He's
impression.
like, this isn't you. And he's like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
cool
you
part.
were- yeah.
Great part.
And so I get the impression that the villains aren't just bad guys at the end of a level. And
Yeah.
that's really encouraging
Well-
in any video game, but it's encouraging to see them do that with Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking to Kingpin in the demo, right? Like,
Yeah.
after he's taken down Kingpin, like, Kingpin is still a part of that world and still interacting with what's going on.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think when we're doing Peter Parker stuff, we're going to be checking out Doc Connor's lab and stuff like that. I think that when people are like, why would you even want to be Peter Parker? Like, why would you want to do stuff like that?
There's still
it's
so
to build
much.
those relationships with these characters.
There was a stealth level of you as Peter where you had all the abilities, but no one could see you use them.
yeah.
And you just look at this
Yeah.
trailer too. It's so. This is the E3 trailer for the masses. It's the giant set piece. It's the wow moments. It's not the smaller stuff that when you're playing this game will really hit you right here.
Yeah, because I told you, Huber, I said coming into E3, the demo I wanted was Spider-Man walking on the streets, and we still don't have that. We still don't have that.
We still don't have him just
Yeah.
freely swinging through the city at like a normal pace. You know, this was he was
That's what I'm
chasing
telling you. That was my favorite part of the
Yeah.
demo I saw is when he did that.
Just
I'll do a concern, Blood. One of the questions I asked was, in both the trailer we saw at E3, the demo we saw at E3, and the demo we saw behind closed doors, basically the same thing with like one extra fight. Spider-Man is like finding Fisk's construction workers just instinctively. The player is because that player knows where to go, and I was like, how will we in the game? And they weren't willing to talk about it. I think it's gonna be like waypoints. I think it's going to be like rescue Fisk's things, and there'll be like little triangles that like lead you there. Because Spider-Man is verticality; it's 3 dimensions, and I just hope it's not cheap. I wonder if there's like an L2 we like hold down, and then we'll see them. They just weren't willing to show that to us yet. Exactly how we're targeting our next objective.
I think of like Ratchet and Clank objectives, and of course that's so much smaller scale. But sometimes it'll be like kill some things in this general area. So I'm wondering if it's just like, kill the thugs or find the thugs in this area, and then you do kind of just freely, climb around or swing around. And
Yeah. He said that what we saw was a very condensed version of what that actual stage will be like in the final game.
True, yeah.
And so, there will be more freely exploring and trying to find Fisk's guys.
If I was to bet, I would say, because there's like 2 parts of that. There's the thugs he beats up until he gets the phone with Fisk, and then there's the thugs after. The thugs after that phone call, I don't think would be there. I think if you started that building and instead of going to where he goes, if you had like webbed over to that bridge, there'd be nobody on that bridge.
Yeah.
But then you go into that segment, fight those guys, and then
Yeah.
once you fight the last group, that triggers Fisk to talk to you, says go save the rest.
You're right.
And then you just go around the building until you see somebody.
Because otherwise, we're playing that game, we could just go straight to the top of the building and find Mr. Negative up there. I bet you're right, Jones. I bet they are triggered by certain triggers. What I'd like to know that you spoke about, though, Jones, is it was in response to, I think, Ben saying that it looked a little like Arkham. In which Batman's like perched, and then you see the next place you can get perched to. And Spider-Man does that too, in that you see the next place you can get perched to, and there's a prompt, and you can go straight there. But you can also web over there creatively, and you can web around creatively.
I like that it's both triggers, so you get that kind of feel of
And
him
the
putting both hands out.
Yeah.
the combat is similar to Arkham too. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like the webbing them from the top. It's like the cape.
One thing that he did that I thought was really cool, I'm just remembering now, is the energy hands guy that jumps out of the helicopter. In the demo that they did, the Sony press conference, he, in the interest of time, like knocked him on the ground pretty quickly. Our guy dodged him like 8 times.
Oh,
which
cool.
was kind of fun. He was
That's
like,
fun.
nope. And like I bet that never gets old. It's just
Yeah.
like, you miss me.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Batman, it's not as fun. It doesn't have as much personality. It's nothing against Arkham. Those games are amazing, but again, it's just a little more fun.
But how do you make like Spider-Man's so strong and so fast? It's like, how do you make this game with stakes? How do you make it threatening other than the supervillains with superpowers? Because
That's the thing.
Batman is human. Like any guy with a knife can take him down.
Yeah.
The guys
Right.
with guns are so scary. Like they will mow you down. I feel like in this there were a couple guys with guns. In the demo they were kind of just standing there.
A bullet will still
Like-
hurt Spider-Man. He's got some restraint, but
something else that
Yeah.
they didn't demonstrate that is one of, in my opinion, the number one major flaw of the Arkham franchise from start to finish is that I never met a civilian ever in that game.
Yeah.
Like literally, like they made 4 video games and they all had some weird.
It's Christmas. It's
Everybody
Christmas.
just kind of left.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, and normally, of course, on Christmas Eve, no one's outside.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody goes shopping. No one goes out to dinner. No one like sees a movie or something.
Spider-Man not afraid. Not afraid.
Or
to
it's
have
like
season.
that city, people all over the place. So
Yeah.
like, I would not be surprised.
PS3 games,
It'd be really
Jones.
cool if there were levels.
dude. Arkham
PS4,
Arkham Knight.
for
What's
sure.
Arkham Knight's excuse?
Yeah, but that was what, 2015? This game's 2018.
Right.
Wait
Fair.
till the next Batman.
Yeah,
So it would be neat to maybe
Okay.
play a level
I just-
where
no.
there's like a burning building and you have to pull people out of it and like get them to safety, you know. And so you're like grabbing a civilian, like not hurting them, but like just kind of like tying them together and lowering a room down or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and
Could be
like,
fun.
and I don't know if we actually said it, but they basically said that like it's a mission for them to make sure that there's never any point where you question whether Spider-Man killed someone. It's like Spider-Man's never gonna kill anyone.
Yeah.
So getting
Yeah.
those animations and stuff in
I
there.
love
And
that. I love that.
some of that's been said about like some pushback on him being 23 years old, an athlete in his prime. I think that's genius.
I love it.
Could
Yeah.
really go for a taunt button though.
Yeah, they need that time.
He was. It's like not a lot of banter. Surprisingly,
There's some banter.
there was, but I even expected a little more.
You know what's fun is actually in the behind the doors demo was the one guy he saves who goes like, oh, I could have taken him.
Yeah, that's good. That's
And so
good.
even like these dumb New Yorkers are
Yeah.
gonna trash talk back
Right.
to
Oh,
Spider-Man.
and then he
Yeah.
did say something good. He was like, "Yeah, sure," or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, oh, he did say something really good.
And so I like the idea of NPCs who aren't just like, thank you, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like that's not all that Spider-Man's about.
Dude, that was such a good moment.
I love I love the animations. That's why I perched up originally. It's just like Spider-Man's a weirdo. Spider-Man will do weird poses that don't translate to the movie. You know what I mean? Tobey Maguire's never like,
Yeah.
but like when Spider-Man's doing that, that's the sickest thing.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the dedication they have toward the character, not just in story, but in the animations, in the appearances. They talk about how much that costume matters. There's gonna be multiple costumes for Spider-Man, and they said they're all cool. And I'm like, I believe you. Spider-Man's regular default is so cool.
Seeing like a taxi cab
Yeah,
miles away driving Jones.
Yeah.
This freaks me out. It's like wizardry happening. This game
and it's just
huge.
beautiful.
And
A
it's-
beautiful, warm city.
It's
yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
but it feels dense.
Yeah.
Well, think about Ratchet. You brought great examples. Going into those metropolises that they built in those huge worlds, which is moving pieces all over.
This
the place.
is even
you
like,
can't see the edge. It's like I can't tell where the playable part ends and the background begins. And hopefully in this game there really is
And he
the
said-
background's water.
He said, from the moment the game starts, whole city you have access to. Go nuts.
Yeah.
From the moment the game starts, just go nuts. How cool is that?
I'm ready. My body is ready.
I'm so ready.
What a thing to say. What a thing to say to allow to a player, just like, you know what, just be Spider-Man. Go nuts.
Will you be able to have a job as Peter Parker?
They don't talk about that specifically.
Yeah, they haven't talked about it yet.
They won't talk about
No,
like,
I
photography or
want like
anything.
your theory, Kyle. I want Kyle Bossman like theory on Peter Parker civilian job gameplay.
Well, it's weird. So I don't know my Peter Parker 23-year-old lore. I bet he's like a scientist at that point. I bet he doesn't take pics for the Daily Bugle anymore. I don't know.
I mean, they're
Bugle,
talking about
pizza
him like
delivery?
finishing college or something.
Yeah, so he's out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They said he graduated.
Yeah.
He's a
and
full time job now.
he's a super smart
They didn't
guy.
say necessarily what it was.
Yeah,
I think the photos are also a nice PR play. It's not necessarily they needs money, but he's kind of like controlling the messaging. You know, it's like better I make myself look good than Leo.
What a
somebody
Jones
else.
thing to say. That's
PR
such a
play.
Jones
He's
thing.
managing the brand.
manager.
He's managing that brand.
Um,
That's sort of the best Spider-Man jokes from the movies when like the pictures are all perfect. And you're
I
just like, what the
still-
hell? Like,
I still don't have a very clear picture of when you're busting into those interiors like they showed. They tried to elaborate that it's not just like an autopilot thing. Like the interiors, there are like multiple paths to move through those spaces.
So
Yeah.
I think how I would explain that is you'll see it in that one part where the business's room is like burning, and there's things that have crashed in.
Yeah.
You can see that he runs by a perfect square that Spider-Man could easily fit through.
Yeah.
And so I think there's multiple paths, Blood, but I think they're all lead to the same
in
spot.
that
Yeah.
one section specifically, the demo, it's you're not controlling his running. He's automatically running. You're just steering him through that section.
Cool.
So
So if I went right, he'd go through that square.
Yeah.
And if I went left, he would slide or something like that. Cool.
And I imagine the interiors work just normally. You can just walk around them. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that coffee shop we saw in that first trailer, you can just go in there and just be like, "Whoa, Spider-Man!"
Yeah.
But like in a mission, when they actually like throw you in there, like they take over a little bit and put the camera where they want it to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not perking up. I'm just moving my legs asleep.
A lot of his answers were ask me in a few months. I expect we're going to see a lot more of this game at PSX.
Oh yeah.
The countdown begins.
The countdown begins for PSX.
Okay. They did talk about that the parkour system though, and how much they worked on that because it basically allows them to have more detail on the buildings, like fire escapes and stuff like that. Because you were saying, like, in a past Spider-Man game, if you'd put a fire escape on the side of a building, like you would just kind of run into it and you'd fall down.
Yeah.
But with this, like, he's able to just vault right over it and keep going. And same thing with like putting lots of details on the roof and all of that. That like they don't have to have flat rooftops. They can put all kind of stuff up there, and Spider-Man just runs right over it.
Yeah.
You want to know what would be a sick demo?
What would be a sick demo?
Spider-Man, I don't have a name for it, but just the Spider-Man just swinging. That's all the demo is. Give me that demo right now. Let me
idea.
just swing through the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even have no NPCs. I don't care. Just buildings and swinging.
No, I'm gonna give you.
Let me swing.
I don't want to give you the whole city though. I'm giving you
like a little section.
I'm giving you like Mirror's Edge stuff.
Okay.
I'm giving you like big, blocky, flat polygons to swing around on. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Because that'd be so fun. Because then when the game comes out, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea, Hubert.
Web swinging tutorial.
Yeah, and
Practice.
so you're like, when the actual game starts, you're like, no, I got it. I got my swinging down.
Yes.
I would love that, dude. That's
There's
such a good
no way
suggestion.
that they would put out such a limited demo though. That people would just go nuts with
I'm just
assumptions.
dreaming,
We're just
blood. It's
dreaming.
1:30 in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
morning. I'm dreaming about
We're just
Spider-Man.
dreaming.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for humoring me. I really want to talk more about
Thank you for bringing
Spider-Man.
that back up.
That's
That's
just
a fave.
It's just incredible that game exists. That game shouldn't exist in today's day, and
Polish.
it's really cool. It's just there's nothing cynical about it. It's not connected to other.
Right.
There's no video game universe for Marvel movies. It's like Insomniac's got Spider-Man, and they're just trying to make the best possible Spider-Man.
This is the
yeah.
beginning of like 4 more Spider-Man games.
Sure.
Settled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which to me means, like, case in point, Joker at the end of Arkham City. It's like, if they put a villain in danger, it's like, I don't know if they're not going to kill him right now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
They could just knock off Doc Ock right now and be like, sorry, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was important for us to make that moment impactful and buy. You're like, Mary Jane's dead. Sorry. You're just like, whoa. And it's like, it's our Mary Jane. We can do whatever we want, to these characters.
And we also don't know exactly what they're going to do with Miles. Like, they really like Miles as a character. They said Miles is part of the story, but
a big part of the story.
but it's Peter's story.
Yeah.
But Miles is part of it, so yeah.
Next one, dude. Spider-Man 2, all about Miles.
Yeah.
Peter Parker's like gone somewhere.
Already on to the next one.
Super gone.
Yeah.
Who knows? Off the grid.
They want us guessing.
And then Spider-Man 3, they team back up.
Yeah.
Which I think is why they also, I don't know if they said this in yours, but they distinguished it like Spider-Man, like it's mechanical webbing, not organic.
You can see it in the
traps.
suits. You can see, like...
Yeah, organic is only movie, right? Has he ever had an organic outside of the movie?
I wouldn't be surprised if the comics dabble in that, but it is
Yeah.
it is not the common mythos. Like, he's... Because he's smart and he built that stuff.
Parker's
Definitely in the MCU, he built it.
Yeah.
You can see his little gadget. What's next?
Are we doing mine?
Yeah. What you got?
Do you want to pop up some B-roll? Ben, you got that ready?
I don't know how to do it on XSplit.
All right, Ben. Swap
Yeah.
up. Swap out.
Swapping?
Yeah, Kyle knows how to throw it up there.
Swap up, swap in,
So I'm
swap out.
gonna do 2 smaller ones from today, and then I'll save the rest for when we get together with more time and energy. First one is a game called Minit.
Minute.
Minit. It should be in that folder there. Let me know when you got it, Kyle.
Blood has officially played every game in E3. I've never even heard of this game. What? Minute.
So while Kyle's getting that ready, let me turn to the right page in my.
Feels good to have
book
other
for
allies have
one.
your back, though, because I put out my list of everything that I played, and I got some tweets. People were like, "There's not a solitary Nintendo game on that list," and I'm like, when you have, Kyle Bossman and Daniel
Right.
Bloodworth and Michael Damiani,
Yeah.
like, what on earth are you doing in that booth? Like, get out there and
I'm elsewhere.
that opens me up to, like, check out Dimensions for a half an hour and just get an update
Yeah.
on the characters, and so.
So
appreciate
this was over at Devolver's basically trailer park that they have across the street.
I went in there and took a peek at that stuff.
And
Didn't play this.
if you're not familiar with Devolver, they are basically a publisher for otherwise what would be indie games. And Minit, I think was she the artist? Yeah, the artist worked on Horizon Zero Dawn, And now this is a game that they call a 1-bit game. It is black and it is white. There is not grayscale.
1-bit.
So you have black background and then white sprites, I guess you would say. But it's essentially like a Zelda style game, top down, kind of like square to square maps. But it kind of gives me more of a Link's Awakening vibe than any other Zelda, maybe just because it's black and white. But you come out of your house, you search the beach, and you find a sword on the beach. And as soon as you pick up that sword, a counter starts. And in 60 seconds, you will die.
Whoa.
So you have 60 seconds to do whatever you're going to do, and then you're going to die and go start over, respawn back at your house. And this is the way that the game works. It works 1 minute at a time. You have a minute to identify something to do in the world and do it. And what was hilarious is the very first thing I did after picking up sword is go over to this lighthouse and talk to this old man, and the text crawl was so slow.
That's pretty good.
And he was just talking about nothing important for such a long time. And
Like funny to put in the game, but hilarious to put in an E3 demo.
Yeah.
and then you get all the way to the end of that text call, and then he's like, I hid a treasure in a pot next to a fireplace, and then like 5 seconds later, dead. All right, respawn. And here's the thing: when you respawn, like any like key items or stuff, like you keep that stuff. So it's just like bit by bit, you work your way through this game. And so it's like, okay, then we get that. And then I don't know this is necessarily an intentional way to play the game, but it worked so well because I was sharing the demo with another writer, and so we just handed off. It's like your minute, my minute, your minute, my minute, and so it was like just really great past the controller. So it's like, okay, I go over here and I find out something about, okay, you kill 5 crabs, and like I killed them, but I killed them like right before the timer, so I didn't get the reward. But then he was able to kill the crabs and then figure out the next thing, and then like, okay, we find a key, and then we find a flashlight, and then the funny thing is like once I got through, got the flashlight, like let me get through a dark cave. He got some power that like let us push boxes out of the way.
Love pushing boxes.
Yeah, just like all these little things.
Chris Redfield.
And then so anyway, so I got a flashlight. I was able to get through the
cross
syndrome right there. I'm sorry. I immediately just thought of Resident Evil pushing boxes.
You got your next episode all ready to go.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I can see the thumbnail, like a stack of boxes. Huber's in the middle, like No, sorry.
I have to be honest. I'm struggling, and so I like heard what Huber was saying slowly, and I'm like, okay, Blood's talking about this game where you die in a minute. Sounds really cool. The guy's talking super slow, and then I just hear, I love boxes. Chris Redfield.
I'll get us back on track. Visually,
Thank you.
You have to almost look at like.
Did it get boring? I mean, like, after a while, or to get repetitive, you know, it's like you go out and explore this world, and it's like how different.
But the thing is
look.
you're not exploring that much of the world
Right.
at a time. And they say, you know, again, like this is just something that.
Thank you.
Nice.
Like they're just kind of probably doing in between. So because like she, like I said,
kill those crabs.
she had been on Horizon. The other guys had been on Nuclear Throne, which I'm not that familiar with. I'm not sure if any of you are. But yeah, they just they're making a small game, 2 to 3 hour game. And then another thing is like you find different. Oh, there's the watering can we didn't figure out. We found the watering can after beating it, and we're like, okay, I don't know what this does.
After beating it?
Yeah.
You beat the game.
No, beating the demo. So after we got through the cave, we got to like another hub house or whatever. So that's kind of the way that you end up progressing through this world, is that there's different places that you make your home that you like can respawn at. And then so if you want to go back to the old house, then you can do that. You have to just walk in the door. But you set your spawn point basically by finding these new locations, and then that's how you get to go further and further out through the world.
What is the ultimate objective here? I mean,
I think it's to lift the curse from the sword so that you don't die every 60 seconds.
I see.
Blood, what's the music like?
God, everything that I don't remember music. Exactly. Yeah.
Got a minute.
Yeah, it's
you're
hard.
dead.
It's like sometimes games where like I remember liking music.
Chris Redfield. Chris Redfield. Sorry. I can't. I need to get off this desk.
But anyway, I keep getting distracted, sidetracked. Once you get to the end of the E3 demo, it was funny because they had a recreation of the actual Devolver trailer park that we were doing the demo in. So it actually had all the trailers and like a little Devolver.
Oh, wow.
Like they have a balloon above the parking lot and
That's
stuff.
funny.
Yeah. So the next game I saw, if Kyle wants to pull back up over there, is Swords of Ditto.
Oh yeah, this looked great.
Yeah. And it is similarly a top-down Zelda kind of game, and probably in more ways than Minit is, but it kind of works in the reverse because it is procedurally generated. The world is procedurally generated. The dungeons are procedurally generated. And it's worked into the lore in a really crazy way. So basically, so when you die, the world gets regenerated, of course. But it's the way it's explained is like there's this villain named Mormo who's like it's almost like pulled exactly from Zelda. It's like every 100 years she comes back to like attack the land, and then the hero rises. So when you die, you actually are like that next generation's hero. And so you go through the same sequence of this guardian spirit coming and recruiting you, and then you go to the grave of your previous character and get the sword. And so if you lost the previous world, then the world would be all dark and your grave would just be this small little thing in a graveyard. If you had actually completed and defeated the villain last time, then you'd have like this statue in the center of town. Yeah, and so it's really funny. And here's the other thing, it's co-op. So two people playing together, you share all the same items when you unlock items and stuff like that, so it can be completely drop in and drop out and not be like a hassle to deal with inventory and stuff. That giant foot that just smashed down is one of your items. But
cool.
So they call them gadgets. And so there was like a record that at first just seemed like a Zelda boomerang, but we did there's a record dungeon.
It's a good trailer.
Why does every video game look amazing?
Yeah, this thing looks like Adventure Time. It's like really like got a lot of like great like subtle animation on like the trees and everything. Looks really clean in person. But the record, some of the things that we could do is there would be like these kind of turntable things. So you'd like there'd be like a thing of spikes, and you'd like throw the record onto the turntable, and then it would like, as long as on the turntable, the spikes would go down and you could cross. And then the record would also, sort of like Breath of the Wild, like shooting an arrow through a flame. The record, you could like shoot it through a flame and then light other torches that were like across gaps and things like that. Cool. And then there was also things that we had to do at the boss fight with like ricocheting it around corners. So that was pretty interesting. What other gadgets? Oh, okay. There were bombs. There was some kind of torch. There was a bow. There's golf clubs. And so, but every time you have a world, there's only 3 of these dungeons. So there's like you get three gadget-based dungeons to complete, and then you can go and attack the boss, and then after that's done, then again like you resurrect as the next hero. And so I don't know like how their end game comes about.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I did write down nice music, but now off the top of my head, I can't remember like what to even compare it to.
Love that octopus in the bathtub.
Such a great,
Yeah.
It's so
It's a
quick.
great
It's a
looking
great
game.
trailer. They give it to you
Yeah.
for just long enough to be like, boss friend? What? Like what's going on there?
See what else. There's like they're talking about day and night cycles and weather cycles that change like what kinds of enemies and stuff come out. There's a lot of detail on that and a lot of kind of strategy like when you go around to
is
do
it
things.
roguelike? if your characters die? Or
Yeah, that's
yeah, right?
That's roguelike.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
the world's random, I mean that
Yeah.
that usually fits in that category.
What
I'm
else?
excited for this. Yo, weekly Ditto stream.
There's there's different there's not only are there different enemies at different times of day, but kind of like Majora's Mask, there's like different shops that are open at different times of day. So you have to keep that in mind. And then they talked about in terms of some of the like ways that you augment your character, they have like what they have stickers that you get. And there's what's weird is I guess they don't have them in the game yet. But they were talking about, like, you have to go to this, like, you get these sticker packs, but you have to go to this special NPC who's, like, a sticker fanatic, and he, like, has to, like, carefully, like, open the packs before you can, like, actually get the stickers out of them and apply them to your character. And so then you would just, like, stick stickers onto, like, your different, like, some only, like, can be applied to your head, and some can be applied to your arms and stuff like that. And there's, like, some that like health regen only at night, and then bombs and new attacks and things like that. So cool looking game, fun looking
Very
game.
interesting, yeah.
Something that like
Crude humor.
I definitely
Fantasy violence.
I definitely think you would
Crude
want
humor
to
doesn't
play
really jump
co-op.
out from this trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting point. Crude.
Does the game change at all if you're playing in co-op? Are there more enemies, anything like that? Is there any modifications to it?
As far as I know, I don't think there is.
Okay.
I wonder if you get an achievement for never dying. I wonder if it's possible.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
You know, one life.
Yeah.
Life to live.
Hubert, you're not coming back Saturday, are you?
Saturday.
Do you have anything left to drop? What do you got?
Oh man, I'm so hot.
I don't have any really big ones.
Jones just wants to go.
No, I don't want to go. I
mean you want to talk.
It's the end of our Thursday, and I've literally brought up a game.
Yeah, that's
Over-
what. No,
over
I meant.
6
I meant.
days.
I got one that I
Give
know.
some
I'd like to
Hey.
maybe squeeze one more in there.
I got one.
get one
I got
in
one
there.
I know
Cool.
we can co-op here.
Cool.
That I really. It was one of the biggest surprises at E3 for me in terms of how much I enjoyed my time with it. Fortnite.
Oh, right.
Sure. Great.
Fortnite.
Because I saw that at Judges Week, but didn't get to play it.
Dude.
So I have played it before, but I imagine it was a much different version. I got
Oh,
to play it
yeah,
like 2 years ago.
or something,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is coming out next month, so expect a lot of streams.
Wow.
This
Cool.
Finally?
I
Yeah.
got confused on
Okay.
embargoes, so I missed
Yeah.
that. They announced that at Judges Week. So yeah, it's more tune in for coverage from me on this
Yeah,
game.
for
I have had access to it, but just didn't. You know, they were like right before E3. They were like, "Go nuts!" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Are you kidding?"
Right.
Like, I have no time. But very curious. Yeah.
Very excited for this game. It felt really good to kill these zombies that were coming at you.
Yeah.
The premise of the game is the world has been like taken over by this.
No GH TE at the end.
There's like a
Too cute.
purple toxin. Like 98% of the Earth has been destroyed or been taken over by this fog like goo. And now all these Freako monsters are there. There's like zombies.
Freakos.
There's like these. The enemy variety was really cool. I asked about that.
nice.
There's gonna be a lot of enemy variety. There were like normal shamblers that would come at you. There were electric-based teleporting ones. There were big hulking ones. And it is like Dungeon Defender in a way, with building traps, building spiked floors. You have a pickaxe, and you can destroy cars and trees and rocks to get materials and just build on the fly. But again, the biggest surprise was how good it felt killing things in this. The guns felt powerful. The melee attacks were really cool. I got a sword and I was like doing all these katana moves.
How was the weapon
Yeah,
variety?
this is surprising to me here because
Yeah.
I feel like this kind of game so many times is like there's so much focus on laying down traps and stuff that like actual enemies are just kind of like
Yes.
like a Warriors game, like tissue paper kind of thing. Yeah.
Totally. And they felt good. They felt threatening. And I'm terrible at building things. All the building stuff felt pretty easy, pretty intuitive. Again, I only played like the first 2 areas. They were pretty small.
It is kind of confusing because walls have like a square system.
Yeah.
So if you want to like leave a door, you like put up a wall and just erase like the middle square and the one beneath it, and that they're like, oh, door. Or if you want windows, you just erase those squares. And it was the kind of thing where I was like, gosh, sure, I would understand this in principle had I played the game for like 2 hours. I'd like would just get that. But watching them play it at Judges Week, they would set up a fence in 2 seconds. They would literally just like they just, you could tell like once you get good at this, you can set up defenses as something's literally running at you in front of your face. You're just like, nope, and then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Are the traps that you're setting up what you would expect?
Yeah, all I got was spikes. Spikes coming up on the floor. Is this the E3 trailer, Kyle?
It's E3 2017.
Nice.
Gameplay trailer.
Yeah, this looks
okay.
familiar. Perfect. Yeah, these like Chandler things. I could have sworn I heard Ashley Birch as like the robot voice actor. There's like this robot helping you along, trying to like tell you where to go. You have to like power this rocket ship to go away. Full on loot and customization. That is the big hook. There is a story, there is a progression, but you can fully customize your character. There's four hero classes. There's 4 hero main characters, but then you create your own like version, I think, of that type of class. Jeremy Hoffman used to work at Game Trailers. He is the PR person behind this game. He was telling me for that loot shot, they just went in and like dropped a bunch of stuff. So it was really fun.
Right. Video producer.
just
There's
watching-
a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that they've been putting out.
Yeah. The look of it is really cool,
Yeah.
colorful. It reminds me of Wild Arms. What is it?
Wildstar.
Wildstar.
Wildstar, yeah.
I was a little concerned when I first played it when I first checked it out a couple years ago because I didn't feel the impact of fighting these things because they were so cartoony.
Yeah.
And I think they've fixed that.
Now I do,
And
yeah.
again, I didn't play it, but just from looking at it, just had a little more oomph.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
A little more impact.
And
they
it-
were a little scarier.
And it is just screaming stream game. This because
Sure,
like
yeah.
also too, because some games are just easier to stream than others. Some games are hard. Some games, even like something you're really good at, say like God of War 1, you're playing on normal. There's still you have to be like fully engaged with it because like things are coming at you. This is cool because like you can build and set everything up, and then initiate the battle. It's like, all right, let's go. And then like all hell can break loose. There's like I think 11 types of mission variety. So there'll be like horde mode ones. There'll be like defend points. It was just really, I just had a really good time with it, and I left so happy. I was like, whoa.
Nice. Good to hear. Good.
I was like, whoa, I want to play Fortnite now.
One shot that I really liked in this trailer, I'm seeing this for the first time,
Yeah.
is they had a bunch of zombie-like things like throwing these like purple curtains. So this thing that you built, it was crashing into the roof overhead, and so you're like,
Cool.
okay, it's not just coming in from the side.
they're coming
I have to worry about
everywhere.
above me, and I have to make sure that the area above me is equally fortified. I think
Yeah.
that's really
Wow.
neat.
Two
Battle
years ago
exhibition.
when we built the base,
Yeah.
we like set it up and like really spent time like making it perfect, and we were like, all right, no way they're getting in here.
Yeah.
5 seconds into the first wave, we were like, this base sucks. Like we could tell right away. It was like, nope. Like they just like walked right over the rooftop and dropped in and
Yeah.
walked right in. And we were
That's
like,
really cool.
right, gravity. Yeah. Okay. Whoops.
Right.
And then lastly, there's just a ton of things to level up. There's like your profile to level up. You level up your characters. I think there's like daily quests and stuff to come back in. It's co-op. So it's just really fun time. Really fun time with Fortnite.
The effects are really good, like
Yeah.
the
electricity.
like the smoke clouds that are kicked up, the like, I think it's when you're picking up loot, the sort of like almost confetti like thing that
Yeah.
comes up. All of that is really good.
Yeah.
The lightning, yeah,
Had a great vibe. The main character, I think her name was Ramirez.
yeah, that's really cool.
Ramirez, and she was just like badass. She's like, I'm gonna go.
That pinata.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what was that?
Robots.
It reminds me
That
a little
charge
bit
bunch
of Sunset Overdrive.
Totally. Sunset Overdrive vibe. Yep. So, yep.
Cool.
Very
Cool.
pleasantly
I'm happy.
surprised.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Because I was excited about it too.
Yeah.
Because this game speaks to me, the building, the
Yeah.
surviving, the resource gathering and all that stuff. So, but I didn't really
We
like
will play
pester you about it,
Tones for sure.
So I'm glad you just independently picked that up and we're excited
Pumped on
about it. So
Fortnite.
good
Yeah,
to get
can
that
I be
perspective.
can I be non-cynical for a moment?
Yeah,
When this game was first revealed,
for sure.
I was like, no way, you dumb game, you're not gonna make it. And so I liked that they put the time in.
Yep.
Like, they didn't like give up on this game. They said, you know
Totally.
what?
Yeah.
We're just gonna make it a good game. We're just gonna keep working on it until it's something that's fun and workable.
Yeah, because I don't even know. This game was announced many, many years ago. This has been
Yeah.
a long road.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting anything because of how
Right.
long the road has been. And I came away just like, wow, this is solid.
They were
This is
very,
a
they were very
solid
upfront
game.
about it at Judges Week. Like, we know this took forever. We know you're waiting for it. That was what was kind of exciting. They're like, we're pleased to announce you're going to be getting it very soon. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, finally.
Solid.
Cool.
Totally. Man.
I would have just completely skipped over it now.
Yeah.
All right, Jones. What do you got? You
Oh, it's the time?
you only been able to announce one game, so what do you got?
Well, technically two, because we talked about State of Decay early on Frame Trap.
Yeah.
I got to talk about
Jones,
Sea of Thieves.
You said
man.
literally one game.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves.
Sea of
Thieves.
Thieves. And with a crunch.
Yeah.
Yum.
We're going to crunch hard
Yeah.
on one of my favorite games from the show. You talk about streamable games, Mike Huber?
Totally Sea of Thieves.
You talk about games where like you're figuring it out while chat's figuring it out. We're all
Yeah.
exploring this together. I had almost all of my questions answered. I had almost any concern that I had where I was just like, it feels like this happens. Do you do this? And they're like, yes. Yes. But more specifically, like, what's going on? What are the motivations? Am I the only... You played... No, wait.
I played last year,
Okay.
and then actually the dev was kind of disappointed that I didn't get a chance to play this year because I actually talked to him a couple of times this week.
Bloodworth plays so many games that they're disappointed when he
Yeah.
doesn't show up. They expect him.
He walks by their booth and they just frown as he passes by.
Not
but
this year.
I did have I might have told this story already, but we were both at the Xbox showcase together on Monday, and I was waiting in line to play Crackdown 3, and I saw Jones had showed up for Sea of Thieves, and he was gonna be getting on there, and then while I was waiting for Crackdown, I just heard this like roar of applause go up for like the 2 rows away where Jones was when he finished the session. Like everybody was happy about that.
It was exciting. It was a hard game to put down. So what's going on in this game? What's the point? I'm a pirate. Yay! What am I doing?
Yes, Jones, this is what I need.
You're making money, baby. You're making money, and you're buying more of everything. You're buying more outfits. You're buying better guns. You're buying more upgrades for your ship.
Can I buy an island?
I think you are given an island.
Okay.
You are given a base of operations.
Okay.
Oh right, yeah.
And you can,
Immediate-
I'm assuming, upgrade that. There was a merchant there. Didn't go into that menu or buy anything from the merchant.
I have an
but
immediate-
He did walk into a little store. There was a little person, doing a little idle animation. And so,
So-
maybe in a Black Flag way, maybe you can get more of those shops that sell different things. Do not have specifics.
The
on that.
island is like the
Yeah.
one safe space.
Where you
for
start
yeah.
every time you log into the game.
So there's 4 of us though. We're in a pirate crew.
Yes.
Whose ship is it? Whose island is it?
whoever we've
Whoever
gone into the game.
hosts.
Yeah, whoever hosts.
Okay. Got it.
so
But then if I'm
I
in
don't
your
know.
game, I
I'm
still
sure
take
you,
my
I would
stuff.
imagine you could set up clans and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's a shared synergy where we can all share an island as long as. But I would imagine it's tied to somebody's profile. Otherwise, I don't know how you would manage that.
Okay.
But I did get the sense that one person was like the captain. And was like, you're on. I'm the captain now. You're on my ship. And we're going out, and basically we're trying to make as much money as possible. How you make money is you bring things back to your base. How much you decide to get before you head back to your base is up to you, and that's the risk reward of the entire game. My 2 favorite things about Sea of Thieves are, 1, you have to work together. You have to. The game is impossible to play with one person. It does not function. There's no way to do it.
Right. If you're on the wheel of the ship, you can't go and you can't see.
Can't see anything. You see sails.
You see sails.
And so you have a guy down, you have somebody down in the underneath the ship, looking at the map, being like east. And you're like, okay. And what was funny was it's a boat, and so we're like east, like to turn right. And so they would go, okay. And we're like, no, left, back, too far, left. Like, okay.
Yeah,
We're like,
yeah,
no,
you
too
have
far
to-
left, go back. And so like you really had to communicate and get a sense of like, okay, how can I
That
better
is really cool.
How can I better
Wow.
communicate to you exactly how far to turn? And one person is moving the map, but the other people can still look at the map and see the movement. So like I can't control like the zooming in and out, but I can still look at it and see the other islands. When we started up, there were 3 different like missions we could go on. You could bring up a map, and we saw 3 different islands. And so you like see the island, see how many treasure chests were on that island. The island does not have a name right away. So we see the island, we're like, let's go get that one. That has 3 treasure chests on it. We'll go get that one. Now you got to look at the map and find it. There's no waypoints. There's no automatic thing. We got to find it. So we're scrolling. Okay, so that it's got a little leg and there's little tiny islands. Oh, there it is. Like that's the island. Zoom in. Snake Island. Got it. Okay, we're going to Snake Island.
Snake Island.
I can't like set a marker that the captain can see. We just gotta point in that direction, and I gotta still look at the map and be like, okay, oh, we're almost there. You see it in advance. Classic mistake we made is like, all right, we're coming into port. And I was like, okay, wait, slow down, slow down. And we're like, oops, and we just like right into port. Like got 3 holes right in the front of the ship. We're like, like ran down, like patched them up, like got our buckets out, scooped up the water, threw it back over the edge, ran back downstairs, scooped up more water.
Man?
There was what?
There's no waypoints.
There's no waypoints.
Yeah.
You just go places. When you're on an island, there's no map. There's not like, oh, let me
man.
bring up the map of this island and see where I'm
love
at.
that.
You have to know where you
Freedom.
are.
Yes.
You have to know, like, this is the north side of the island, so that means that thing is over there.
Well, you can get a map, right? Like you can see a drawing of the island, but it's
I can
not
see
gonna.
a drawing of the island, but I don't see myself on
Right,
it,
right, right.
or my teammates, or how close they are to me. I just gotta pay attention to where stuff is. And I think that's one thing that it might turn off a lot of people. I will not be surprised if I see people being like, it's just too difficult, it's too procedural, there's too many things I had to worry about, it's too stressful. Kind of like overcooked in a way, you know? It's just like, I'm so reliant on my other teammates, it just got frustrating. And like, I could see that, but if you are clicking, you know, if you get like a 4-person team that understands their roles, that is willing to work together, everything is manual. You have to load every single cannonball before you fire. Like you fire and now it's not loaded and I gotta put in another cannonball. I have cannonballs in my inventory.
I just want to be screaming that to you, Jones.
There is when you start and you leave. I'm assuming you can up this inventory level, but there are only a set amount of cannonballs on our ship, so we could run out of cannonballs. You can load yourself into the cannon. And you shoot yourself out of that cannon. So if you want to, like, you can see that in the demo. So if I want to blast myself over to the ship or blast myself over to an island, but I can't steer the cannon while I'm in it. So if you're like, okay, Huber, you're going over, like you load in and then I aim it, like shoot you over. And, like,
That's happening immediately.
Yeah.
How do they handle death?
when you die, you go to a ghost ship.
Oh, ghost ship.
Yeah,
to a
we saw
ghost
this
ship.
on the aftermath.
That is out on the sea. You cannot see the horizon. It's all smoke, red candles, just literally, lined up around the outside of the ship.
I want to.
If someone else dies, if you and I died at the same time, we're both just sitting on the ship, waiting. And then there is a door that has skeleton unicorns crossed together and two like Grim Reapers on either side of it.
Cool.
And after a while, I think it's like 30 seconds to a minute, door opens up, you go through, it ports you back to a nearby teammate, I think.
Okay.
That teammate could be in the middle of the ocean, treading water, or could be like right in the middle of a fight or something, and you would just pop right there.
I forgot. Is it PvP or is it versus the
Oh, yeah.
PvP.
PvP, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how many people can be like you said you're going for the 3-star thing.
Right.
You have your crew of 4.
Right.
How many other crews are out
In
there?
the demo that we played, there were 2 other crews of 4.
So it's 12.
So 12 people
eventually.
total in the demo that we did. I do not know if that's reflective of how many people can be in the
Okay.
same world at the same time.
Wow.
I totally strolled right up next to a person like, hey. And the dev like leaned in. He's like, he's not on your team. And I was like, oh. And like turned to him right as he noticed too, and he like took me out. I was like, because we were so obsessed with what we were doing, I like forgot. Like, oh yeah, there's other people in this world. There was an NPC boat that we came across. We were like, we go on the island or are we doing the boat? We're like, get that boat. So we're like following the boat. Boat starts speeding up. Like, oh no, they're coming at us. Crashes on a rock,
my God.
sinks. The crew gets out and swims to the island, and they're stuck on the island. And so we're like, okay. So we just like launched over, like killed them, like took their stuff and like brought it back. Wow. You have
But here's the thing, though. Like that encounter, how much of somebody being not on your team can you kind of play around with? Like
sure.
like
Playing around is this game. It is
that's what I mean. It's like you could conceivably find another team that's got a ton of loot,
Oh yeah.
and then
there's
find another team that doesn't have a ton of loot. It's like, hey, let's go after that first team together.
Right.
And
But you don't want to sink their ship. Because if you sink their
Yeah.
ship, all their treasure goes down to the bottom of the ocean, and you gotta go down to the ocean, grab every single treasure chest one by one, carry it back up to go over to your ship, drop it somewhere. Like one of the responses that I loved is when we brought the chest back to the ship. We're like, where do we put it? And he's like, wherever you want. You just got to get it back. You know, so like you can hide it, you can leave it on the deck to get access it quicker.
Oh,
when you
hiding,
you
yeah.
take it back, so you take it back to your island. Do you have like a vault on your island? Like you put it in.
The demo ended while we were still out in the world.
Okay.
And I am assuming that's how ships work. I would imagine that you can steal a ship. So if you like okay, we're at this island, and you all get off, bad idea. Like, you want at least one person to stay on the ship to warn, like, oh, like, ding, 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 ding. You can ring the bell, and, like, you can hear it. Like, so, like, there's people coming up, because if you're not on that boat, all it takes is just shooting 2 guys over, and, like, one guy gets on the map, the other guy, like, does the sails, and bye, got your ship. And so I imagine I would take that back to my island, cash it in, probably get money for that. And they said, didn't get into specifics, but said there was a way to get your ship back if a ship is stolen from you.
Okay.
Maybe you take a financial hit or something. Like,
Did anyone encounter any sharks?
Sharks all over the place. Man.
Okay.
You can fire underwater, which is, a little unrealistic with the bullets, but
Yeah.
you've got, one of those things like coming at you. And they weren't like stupid aggressive. Like when I jumped out, there was a train of 3 of them that went by, and I just kind of got underneath them and hid behind a rock. And was
Okay.
like, okay. But
Did you take any of them out?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
There was one point where we were like, we gotta get back to our ship, and there's all these sharks, so we just stayed at the beach, and we're just like, and you have a sword too, so you can get in there and slash away at it. But I just love the physicality of it. Like, you have to, there's one thing on the side that raises and lowers the sails, and it's not just like hit a button, boom, it goes up. The more you hold it, the more they roll up, and the more lower they are, the faster you go. The higher they are, the slower you go. You have to turn the sails toward the wind. So it's like Wind Waker. You can see these little, like, gusts of winds going by. So
Well,
you
you
like,
kinda-
look up, and you're like, okay, that way. Okay, steer it. Okay. So
You kind of co-op the raising the anchor too, right? The
yeah.
big,
Oh, yeah. So when you lower the anchor, it's pretty simple. Like, one person can do it. But when you raise the anchor, it's really slow, and it's this wheel that you turn around. So if you get all 4 people doing it really quick, then you get it done fast. Mm-hmm. Again, teamwork wins this game. Like, if you're in sync and you are a well oiled machine, I just can't wait to just decimate people.
Yeah.
Just find people that are like, hey, I got to see a Thieves thing. Let's try it out. And they just go out and, like, here comes the SS Easy Allies and just mows them over. And they're like, whoa. But I'm not trolling you. It's not like World of Warcraft where it's like I'm griefing this guy and stopping him from doing what he's doing.
Right.
Like, just getting out there, getting treasure, getting it back. That's the game.
Yeah.
And so I just imagine kind of like, maybe Rainbow Six Siege is a bad example, but it's just like simple format, takes a couple matches to get the idea of how everything works.
Yeah.
And then it's beyond that, it's just all this experimentation of just like how you manage those systems, how you get better at the game.
I wonder if there's any sort of bounty system for a crew that has gotten a lot of treasure that maybe would kind of
Like
spice things
GTA
up by-
Online, where like they're marked red,
Right,
where
right,
like, oh,
exactly.
like maybe that's a quest.
Yeah.
Maybe when you see what quests you have. I have a selfish thing. We're officially on Damiani time. I have a selfish thing that I want to say that I went up to the developers and I'm like, this might seem out of left field, but you have fulfilled a gaming dream of mine.
Wow.
That every time I see a pirate game or a ship game, I go, did they? No, they didn't.
Brad too. Brad was saying the same thing. It's like his dream game.
But it's a very specific thing that they did that I'm so surprised that games haven't done. That when I first heard about Black Flag, I was like, oh, no way, they're not going to do that. They're totally going to do that. And they didn't, and it pissed me off. And that's, I want to be in the captain's chambers at the back of a ship, and I want to look out the window. It's that simple. I want that to be an actual physical room on the ship. And I want to look out at the side, and I get in there, and I was like, can you? And I went in. Not only can you, there's a little balcony out the back.
Oh.
That you can just stand out the back there and just watch the waves just lap like as you're going by. And I told the team, and they all just smiled knowingly, like, oh, of course, yeah. It was like very important to us. Because in Black Flag, you go into that room, and it's closed off, it's instanced, all the windows are shut. There's not even a bed in the room. I was like, this is not believable to me as far as like the captain's quarters. And I was just like, man, I could, because again, it's like, it does seem simple on paper. You're just going out, getting as much loot as you can, and bringing it back. But man, I'd be happy just sitting on that balcony for an hour. Like just taking it easy.
You are making this sound like the pirate game of dreams. Like yes.
I mean, if
we look forward to our weekly series.
If we want to temper expectations, and you can tell this by looking at it, this is not Destiny 2 level graphics. This is.
But
this
it's
is
got a
not.
style,
This
you
is
know?
not
Yeah.
like you
graphics
compare this
almost.
obviously to Skull
Yeah.
and Bones, and like forget it. It's not. It is not that type of game. The water looked prettier than I imagined. Like underwater definitely is spooky. It's like when it's not that deep, you can see the bottom right away, and if it is, you'll like I imagine like ships like vanishing. Like.
I guess in a game like this, I would be worried not so much on a technical front, but like going into a cave, right, where you're looking for something, and how complex is that, and like would you be like over a long period of time, are you seeing a lot of similar things, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, repetition for sure is the big question. Like how long
I think
Will it
PvP
last?
will help alleviate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But still, if your objectives are, how many objectives do they have? The trailer has like the riddles, the clues to get to the treasure. It's like how many of those will be repeated? I think PvP.
You got your accordion. You can just break it out and rock and roll every now and then whenever you feel like it. There's a keg on the boat, so you can fill it up with grog and just throw it back, and you get drunk after you drink a couple times. It's. I was just so impressed because it just like I said, and I don't know if I've illustrated this specifically, but like all the questions that I had was like, can you do this? It was just yes to all of them. Like, that made me so happy.
Yes.
And so all that is left to do is just to get it and to jump in. Like I kind of don't want to know more. I just want to play the darn thing.
What I'm looking forward to is just playing by your own rules, where yes, the objective is to go and to steal treasure and to amass this big hoard. I want to be like the ale thieves. Like we just go and we only steal alcohol from them. That's what we do. That would be fun. And telling those stories.
Totally.
And they're like, wait, aren't you going to take our treasure? And you're like, no, ha ha ha.
We want your booze.
Yeah.
And like, these were all random characters we played with random skins. It's like we looked around and it's like I just had to remember that like that weird silly name that the team thought up was actually connected to that person. But like seeing your profiles, having you be custom characters so I can recognize you just by looking at you, possibly even getting to the point where you achieve some kind of notoriety in this game.
Yeah.
Where like someone sees your gamer tag and knows like, oh no, like bumping into an ally randomly in this game. Ugh.
Trader Jones on the horizon.
These waters belong to Trader Jones.
So yeah, just absolutely, and all the lovely ladies of What's Good Games played before me, and even just watching the three of them play it was just so jolly. So we're gonna be streaming the hell out of this game.
Those are some excellent.
But I can't say how long it'll last. That's the joy of discovery, especially because I'm sure most of the islands look similar.
Do you think the joy of that balcony will remain forever?
I don't know. Forever's a long time, Ben.
Sure.
We'll see. I can't promise that, but it's finally they did it.
Yeah.
Jones, you just fed me a giant bowl of hype and hope.
Yes.
Yes.
Hype.
Slurp it up.
Yeah.
Are we okay to crunch on that?
Oh yeah.
That was good. That was a good crunch.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I had a bunch of other games. I was promised a cannonball run, but you know what?
We are.
Oh yeah, what happened to that?
What do you mean what happened to that?
Kyle just you kind of went over there. You want Cannonball Run over here?
No, that's fine.
I think we're good.
I mean, we need to get those Cannonball games.
Jones, hold on.
When are we gonna do it?
We gotta crunch. I just gotta find it. I don't know where that crunch would be.
I can maybe go help you check.
That's right.
But it's just like, God, Need for Speed Payback, Assassin's
No,
Creed Origins.
no. He's talking
I
about
know.
Okay.
I'm just like Days Gone, Skyrim VR. The first RPG I will ever play a mage through the entirety of. Where I was like, I'm bow and arrows all the time, and like they start you with like a flame hand, and I was just like flamethrower. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a mage in this.
So
that's
Jones,
pretty great.
you did not need my cannonball run, and then you're just starting your own right
You
now.
said you
Is
were
that
searching for the
happening
video.
right
I'm
now?
covering
Okay,
time while you
sure,
find the
might as
video,
well.
man. Do you want to swap chairs and I can find the video for you?
I think you know where it is, and I don't.
Kyle,
I
I'm gonna
definitely
need-
do not know where it is, but I can dig.
Kyle, I'm gonna need one more typing.
Where?
One more typing impression.
You gonna take a peek?
You're writing a novel over there.
So tentatively, it will be on a schedule on Twitch and also on EasyAllies.com. We are thinking Saturday around 2-ish, Saturday in the afternoon. We will reconvene. We will cover more stuff that we saw at the show. There is also part 3 of Judge Jones, the series that I did not have time to finish this week, but I did record that episode, and that is, this huge list that I have right here is stuff I just saw at the show, and that is the final wrap-up of stuff that I saw at Judges Week. Some really exciting VR stuff that Oculus is bringing, and some other fun titles to talk about. And community comments, all of the amazing comments from our community, their predictions, their hopes and dreams for E3. It's going to be interesting to see how all that added up and what we got at the end of the day. Might have to rewrite that script or reorganize that script to maybe put the things they got right at the front and the things they got wrong at the back, or maybe
we can do that.
I can, you've done the legwork on that. I can maybe revise the script a little bit, but originally had planned to do that during the week, but just so much going on. So thank you so much, for tuning in. We got a couple more things to talk about.
Thank you,
Viewers.
allies. Oh
My
my
goodness.
Yes.
Thank you, mods. That needs to
Thank
be
you,
addressed
mods.
right
That
at the top.
absolutely needs to be said.
If you stuck around with us since Saturday, you spent your time here with us, and that means more than you know. It's unbelievable. E3 only comes around once a year.
Yep.
And like you said, it gives holidays a run for their money. It
Yeah.
is the best time of the year.
And I think
Just thank you all so much.
E3 is chaos. So like if you're new to us and you're jumping in and like things were a little chaotic in chat, you know, if like
Right.
you know tempers maybe flared at parts because we might have said something you disagree with, or we're not specifically getting to something that you wanted. I was very absent a lot during E3. We've got lots of comments about like what we chose to focus on, how much time we did this versus that. The thing that's really great about Easy Allies is we're constantly evolving. You know, like
Yes.
hopefully if you have been a fan of us ever since we launched, you can get a sense that things are a little different this year compared to last year with our coverage, and hopefully we will continue to improve upon that next year and do something that we enjoy doing, that you enjoy watching, that everybody wins. And we can only do that because of the support and the communication that we have with our amazing fan base here on YouTube, here on Twitch, and on Patreon.com. So
And let us know if
Always.
there were the things that you really liked that you want to see return, the things that you didn't like, or you think could be changed a little bit.
Right.
We're definitely open
They
to that.
didn't like the God of War trailer score.
They didn't like it, or you didn't like it.
They didn't like it. They didn't like it.
Okay.
I made it so clear up front, Hubert, that it's not like we wanted to see gameplay. They showed gameplay, good trailer. You know what
Right.
I mean? I got so much flack. Just even on Twitter, some guys just like, at least it wasn't CGI. Like CGI doesn't make your trailer bad. I understand like people have preferences and things, but like I explained my stance well. I don't know. I got no more to say about it.
You got nowhere to say.
Nothing like 2 a.m.
how are we doing over there?
So Jones, I want to play this video and then come back and explain it.
Okay.
Do that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you know, it's late, it's
Yeah,
early.
Can we all get on the desk? Can Kyle come over here?
Yeah.
Can we pile
I
in?
can't do that and play the video.
Sure. He will after.
That- yeah.
We got a little treat for y'all. We have a very fun announcement of something that we've been dying to tell you about that we are going to be doing very soon.
Why didn't we just play the video?
And here you go. Enjoy.
So strange.
Oh,
Now,
bring us
Jones,
back. They
Jones.
can't see us. They're looking at a beach right now.
Yeah, how good, Jones, how good would that have been as 45 seconds instead of 1 minute?
Oh, stop it with that.
How good, like, that
You need
would've
time
been-
to process.
That would have been a tight 45, baby.
It has been
I
nothing but
liked
salt.
I liked the guesses for the first 15 seconds, Kyle.
Yeah.
To clarify, we are going to be getting a beach house in August. We are going to be
We're
streaming.
not getting like buying a beach house.
We're going to be renting a beach
skipping the
house.
studio.
We're going to be staying in a beach house here in California at a undisclosed
We're gonna be
location.
destroying a beach house.
We're going to be streaming for just beyond 2 full days. Straight, provided the tech works and everything runs smoothly. We have lots of other specific fun things to announce about exactly what we're going to be doing during those 50 hours. But it was one of those things that I can't. It might have been Ian. I can't remember. Somebody just said it jokingly, and I was like, "Yeah, that'd be. Oh, we have to do that. We have to do that." And it's cool. It's not a stretch goal on Patreon. It's not something that we had previously promised, but it was too good of an idea to pass up. And it'll be interesting. It'll be the longest we've ever streamed. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So hopefully that was worth sticking around until 2 a.m, depending on where you are in the world, to get a little exclusive announcement there. Obviously, we'll be communicating that to all of the other allies that are currently getting well-deserved sleep.
Imagine like how loopy we get at the end of E3 day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like by the end of that, just wild animals.
Hold on, let me mute this again. We're getting computer notifications.
Oh,
Is Damiani going live after this?
Oh yeah.
For sure?
For sure.
Like real. Well,
He's ready to go?
the interesting thing is like it seems like people can't log in.
Yeah.
There's like queues and stuff.
Nothing like an MMO at the
Oh my
hour
goodness.
of launch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Unpredictable.
Yep.
And we had to like pre-order it to play early, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep.
I paid for this.
Ooh.
So yeah, Kyle, you're off cam. Is there anything? Is there anything you want to say, Kyle? Before we bid adieu to the actual E3 schedule, we still have more E3 to cover, but today was the last day.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it on the drive. Like,
Kyle, you're freaking me out, man. Can you sit?
yeah. We got more chairs. I thought I had short thoughts though.
Yeah, you paused for like a little too long. I was like, just take a seat.
Just how like pointless it would be like if like there weren't people watching. That's what I was thinking about.
What?
Just 0 viewers were sitting in this garage.
Yeah. Like
All facing one direction.
all of us like coming together and like hanging out in the garage and just talking like, and so for some reason that made me grateful for everyone. But
Yeah.
It's a good thing to remind yourself of.
It's not a complex thought, but it was like one that I cherished.
I'll tell you what I'm extremely grateful for.
Sure.
The evolution of this project we call Easy Allies, and how integral our community is with that, and how much we cherish and need the responses that we get, the live ones that we get from chat, the comments that we get, emails that we get directly, DMs we get, messages that people put up on Patreon, posts that they make in the forums. All of those are read, are paid attention to. All of that stuff stacks up, and we want to make stuff that you want to see. You know, and we enjoy doing this regardless. We'll enjoy it even more knowing that it is maybe sometimes not what you're expecting, but something you always enjoy. And we get there collectively. We get there as a group, and we owe you all absolutely everything. Whether you're a subscriber, whether you're just tuning in to see what the heck is going on, whether you're watching this archive, you know, weeks, days, months later, or whether you are a hard-working Patreon supporting us financially on patreon.com/easyallies. But who boy E3.
Yeah.
That was an E3 right there.
Oh yeah.
Big ol' E3.
A big old E3. What now?
I get depressed after E3.
I feel okay.
I
feel
am
okay after this
already
one.
counting down to PSX. I'm not even kidding.
Yep.
PSX countdown.
Do you know what I'm counting down to?
Monster Hunter Weekly Hunt.
You are exactly
Yes.
right.
Oh, on
Yes.
point.
Like I really tried not to do it, but like K Murdoch and I were in chat. We're just like, so you know, when the Animal Crossing mobile game comes out, they'll probably have a direct. Like maybe they'll announce it then. You know?
All right.
Dangerous to think. If you're hungry, if you want more, you're gonna get more very soon. Mr. Michael Damiani
I
will
thought
be
you were
playing
talking
Stormblood.
about food, and I'm like, yes.
want
I
some
am
food? You
really
want more food?
hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't want to go to sleep, stick around. Damiani is playing Stormblood right after
What?
this.
That's insane.
Man
I
is
don't know.
dedicated.
I'm ready to fall over right now. So
I
don't
know. Yes.
So we're gonna wrap up in the interest of personal safety, and hopefully all of you wonderful gentlemen will get home safe, and hopefully all of you are having a wonderful time wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for watching us for however long you did. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being a fan of Easy Allies. E3 is the absolute best.
Thank you for shaking our hands.
yeah.
Thank you
so
for
many
the
people.
hugs and for
So
the
many
well
people.
wishes and for the votes of confidence and for all the love and all the respect. E3 is the best, and it's even better with all of you. So, thank you so much, everybody. See you soon.